Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.
All right, brothers and sisters. Shalom out there today. Peace and blessings, that means in the ancient Hebrew. How is everybody doing out there today? Good to see everybody out there. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'm checking my volume, make sure we're good. Yes, indeed. We have a beautiful show for you tonight. Not going to be so long, but we're going to get straight to the point. And, you know, I said I was going to go into this a few weeks back, and here we are, because our people in these times better get their health together. Better. Better. You know, it's going to be better that you get your health together. Trust me. I'm doing blessed. I'm doing amazing. Thank you for asking. I got this nice, beautiful T-shirt on. One of the elders gave me. You understand, from Houston. One of the older brothers gave me from Houston. Thank you so much, my brother out there. Always being fervent. And, you know, I really appreciate the T-shirt, so I thought I would come and show it on class. You know, beautiful lion T-shirt, right? And we got my other brother out there, Brother Richard White out there in the Carolinas, who gave me that big old giant lion picture. I mean, the picture is so huge. You know what I mean? I hung it up in my living room. I mean, the picture is almost big as me, pretty much. The picture's pretty much big as me. You know what I mean? So huge, beautiful lion picture. So once again, I appreciate all these beautiful gifts from everybody from Passover. Man, you know what I mean? Hey, you guys are wonderful. You guys are wonderful, right? And guess what? We still high from the Passover, still high off of the Passover. And guess what? We just want to continue to do the work, seeing that the times draw near, that the Most High's prophecies continue to come true in the earth. So sometimes I have to come on here to you guys to make sure that everybody's bodies is on point. Sometimes Elder has to come on here, bring on doctors, bring on experts to make sure everyone's body's on point. Sometimes Elder Amar has to come on here, make sure everyone's bodies are on point, hitting you from all different areas, right? And more so, making it to where you guys can actually, you know, study to show yourself approved in these areas to see what you may be lacking, what you may be missing, what you may actually need for your body. Okay? This is very, very, very important. So, good to see everybody out there today. Today, like I said, we're going to be talking about collagen and how important it is, and how important it is to, you know, follow it up with a daily regimen of vitamin C and copper, whether through diet or supplementation. Okay, and I'm going to show you a few videos from doctors themselves and not just from me, okay, because I am not a doctor. I may be an expert in what type of supplements people can take. I am a fitness expert. I've been doing it for almost 20 years now. I know, and my body has been through the warfare to know what I need, and I've helped many, 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 many others. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of background if you don't know. I I've been doing power building or powerlifting. And the reason this is important is because you will see why when we're talking about things like collagen and copper, why it is so important to make sure that if you're an elite athlete, or you're just trying to get back in the game, or you're older and you just want to start again, or you dropped the ball a little bit and you became obese. We want to try to help you in that area as well, but it's going to take your faith and your works to do these things. But the reason I'm saying power building or powerlifting is because the whole deal is it takes a lot of wear and tear on the joints. Even outside of that, us just going to school, playing sports, and I mean, tell you, man, Esau will push you to the limit to make himself look good. And I mean, yeah, you get a little money for it, but you have to think about longevity with these bodies, and we don't think about that when we're young. We just think about how we can look good out there, winning the trophy. And that's all good. It comes along with it. But the education of how to prolong the body and keep it going, it's not really given to us. They'll say, put some ice on it, take some ibuprofen, whatever the case may be. And listen, it's a lot more than that. For those of you who have sprained ankles, I mean, I done sprained my ankles so many times playing basketball. We used to play basketball about 6 hours a day. I would go to high school and, I would get out early and then I would go to work. I would be working at Jiffy Lube at that time. I think I was like 16 to 18. I was doing the same thing. I was trying to be a ball player. I, really, 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 really good at that. Go to work, come home from work, and we would meet everybody at the court. And, every city, man, where Judah is, man, they got some ballers, definitely in Houston. And I was at the top of my class with that too. So we would play on that hard concrete, but playing on that hard concrete, man, you have a lot of fluid that comes, in your knees. Sometimes you got the nice courts, you got the soft tops, black tops, you got all different types of courts, but that concrete will put a lot of fluid in your knees on top of bumping knees and hitting the ground. And like I said, overall wear and tear. The same thing when it comes to working out. Even though working out has benefits to it, and thank you for your donations out there and your gifts. We really appreciate your offerings. These things come with a lot of wear and tear. And all I'm coming on here to do tonight from time to time, which I think is very important, because even though we talk about the garden, even though we talk about food, the reality is, and it's out there on thousands of podcasts out there. Everybody has a podcast now, right? The food, unless you're growing it or getting it from a garden that is gardening in such a way where the ground contains all of these beautiful minerals. And I mean, the ground contains minerals anyway, but if you don't have the same gardening techniques as the ancient people, and when I say ancient people, a few thousand years back of just using the cow dung, the livestock dung, the chicken right, compost, whatever the case may be, chicken bedding, just allowing that to decompose, replenishing your garden with that, it's going to be very hard to actually absorb, for you to actually get the nutrition from the vegetables that you're buying from the store, because they're just not gardening like that. They're getting fertilizer, even talking about this Strait of Hormuz, they're getting lots of nitrogen fertilizer from these areas over there in the Middle East. And nitrogen is just one aspect to help to push greenery in a plant. Okay. Yeah, nitrogen does convert over to protein, like, for example, clover, alfalfa, and things like that. But there's more things than nitrogen for a plant. We're talking about the fungal network in the plant, the bacteria environment in the plant. And a lot of these things, when it comes to the enzymes, that help us to be able to absorb all of these vitamins and minerals in these plants. It's just missing and it's just lacking. And we're going to talk about it tonight to prove it. It's more important than people think. People can talk tough until they get injured. People can talk tough until they go through a health situation and realize, like, hey, I'm eating this, I'm doing this, but I'm still not getting healed from it. And I don't like supplementation. Well, the reality is today, we're under the curses of Adam and Eve. The Most High said he would make thorns and thistles. For example, I mean, I have some of these old trees where they have thorns and thistles. And I'm sure even with those, they've been cloned. And when I say cloned, you can clone them in a good way. You can propagate them and do different types of, you understand, manipulation to the plants in a good way by grafting them and such things, right? Air layering and things like that. But man, that thing, when that spike hit you, boy, that thing had me bleeding like crazy. I can't stand those trees that have spikes in them and thorns. But we're dealing with some of these things, not only from the sins of Adam and Eve, but also from our sins, right? In Deuteronomy. So now we're trying to find a way to be able to get back to a basic nutritious diet, because eating out is just not helping us. And it's just a treat. It's probably about, for at least if you're a healthy person, it's probably about 1 to 5% of your diet, you know what I mean, when you have time or free time to go out with your family or whatever the case may be. So, yeah. So tonight we're just going to be emphasizing collagen. It's not just about throwing collagen down your throat. You have to be able to actually be able to synthesize it and stabilize it with things like copper, vitamin C. And so we're going to allow some of these doctors to go to speak today. Some of them you probably see and watch on a regular, but you probably need someone like me to break it down for you in layman's terms. And like I said, for me, I've powerlifted for, many years. Since 2009, I've been powerlifting. Before that, I played basketball, football. I mean, we were hitting 225, man, when we were nothing but like 100 we probably 155 pounds. We've been hitting 225. So it's not, as a grown man, that's been that balanced weight that we've all been doing. I think we were dunking the basketball. I think I'm 6 feet now. I was dunking the basketball when I was like 5'8", grabbing the rim when we was like 5'8". So we've been doing, as a people, sports and just different things like this since we were young. This is just a normal thing, a part of us. But when you lift weights, whether powerlifting or bodybuilding, man, it's going to have wear or tear on your joints. And if you try to be a person who wants to be great in this sport or just go hard, I'm going to tell you, you're doing thousands of push-ups, thousands of pull-ups, thousands of reps, and that's just going to have wear and tear on your joints if you don't have a great diet and if you're not including supplementation. And then once you pass 35, you're like, hold up, metabolism have slowed down. Used to be able to eat anything, used to be able to eat Oreos, packs of honey buns, do whatever, and I'm keeping abs. And now you have to actually work to maintain these things. But not only that, it's not just about being able to metabolize or burn these things, because the metabolism is just like a fire. You're just constantly, adding things to, it's like bodybuilders eating. They eating every few hours. It's like adding sticks to a fire to keep it going, keep it burning, right? That's a whole nother topic we'll talk about soon to help you guys out there who may be a little younger to learn how to keep the metabolism fired up. But with all that being said, like I said, a lot of wear and tear. You're talking about a man who squat 500 pounds to the floor. And I'm not saying it to show off. I'm telling you, like, these things can be very hard on your back. It's not about doing all of this heavy stuff as you get older. Now we're trying to figure out, man, we done all of this crazy stuff, and we all got the things of what we used to do. Now, and some of these things I can still do. Probably not as easy if you don't do it every day. But I said, hold up, I need to make a choice here. Am I going to do the same thing thousands of people do for Instagram views, or I'm going to pick longevity and just be able to do certain things when I actually need to do it? In all actuality, we create things in our mind like we're going to need to do this and do this and do that. And in some emergency situations, yes. But I always like to, and I discuss things with a good brother of mine named Elder Rawchaa. You guys probably know him out there. Of being realistic, reality. Okay, a universal reality. I mean, they got some guys out there, man. They do, they be doing pull-ups and they will attach a couch to them. They will attach all type of things, and it's just like just for views. And they will do all of these crazy things that in all reality you will probably only see in a Hollywood movie. So we're trying to universally help the people in such a way where they're not thinking they got to kill themselves just to stay in shape, just to be able to go out with a wife or a husband, just to be able to play with the kids, so you don't pull a back muscle, blow a back muscle, blow a knee, whatever the case may be. These key things tonight are going to help you. So I have a few scriptures here just to go into it. Since collagen helps with things like bones, ligaments, tendons, right? All of these different things. Facial structure when it comes to skin. Okay, your arteries are made of collagen. I mean, man, the collagen is very, very important. Not only that, the reason I wanted to bring it out tonight, a big reason why I wanted to bring it out tonight was, I've always taken collagen, but I had not been taking enough, probably like you. And there's people who take very, very, very high collagen diets. And not only is collagen going to help with you just looking young, because I know we all want to look young. Like I tell my kids, y'all, I'm getting older, I'm getting younger. But also, like I said, bone structure, muscle structure. And you're supposed to be getting 30% of your protein from collagen. That's one reason why I wanted to bring this out tonight. One of the few reasons. You're supposed to be getting 30% of your collagen, of your protein from collagen. I'm going to let the doctors go into how they break down into peptides and use some of these peptides, okay, these chains of amino acids, to go in and help to actually heal areas that have been torn or partially torn. Like I had partial ACL tears in my knees. But high collagen, high vitamin C, copper, these things will help you to get yourself back in the game. Some people believe that these things all need surgery. Not in every case. A lot of these things can actually repair themselves if we're giving and feeding the body what it needs. It's just not going to heal as fast as a muscle. A muscle can heal more faster than ligaments and tendons. Sometimes ligaments and tendons will take years. That's just the truth. You have to be willing to put the work in for some years, okay? So, I'm sure you guys have ever seen a person tear a pec, a muscle, like a chest muscle, strain a lat muscle. I've strained a lat muscle. I've strained the rotator cuff, hamstring. We've all done these different things. And tonight, these things are going to help you. So let's go to Proverbs 3:1 really quick. Proverbs 3:1 really quick. And then we'll go into these helpful links that we have. Let's see. So we're at Proverbs 3:1. And it says here, exhortations to obedience. Don't just look at it right now what we're reading about the law. We're talking about more than the law. Shalom, Elder Dale. Thank you for putting that scripture out there. Good to see you tonight, sir. We're talking about a lifestyle. Our walk is a lifestyle. That's why he told us to worship him with all our soul and all our might. Okay? He's not going to put every detail in the Bible, but I can tell you, when you read it, when you go through life experience, you realize, wow, the Most High was pretty much telling me that while I'm reading the scriptures. And when I say lifestyle, we have a lesson I did a long time ago called God's Diet. I don't know if it was titled that, but it was talking about God's diet and how we ate, meat. Obviously, you always have the option to just be a, vegan or vegetarian according to the law. But just if you're going to do that, making sure that you truly understand how to get those missing elements, minerals, those B vitamins, and just other things that people lack when it comes to copper and stuff like that, when they end up having anemia issues. So, but yeah, we were eating the dairy, the milk. You got the fermented milk, because we really didn't have refrigerators like that. Even though people come on here and say, yeah, you can make a refrigerator in the ground. Yeah, of course, but that's not what we're talking about here. A lot of things that we did were fresh. We had fresh wheat. Okay, so you're getting pretty much all of your vitamins and minerals except for about 4 when you're eating fresh wheat. And it all took work. While people were working and grinding their wheat, they're getting exercise. They're having to work. So the Most High has them working out while they're getting in the garden. While they're working in the garden. Guys, for example, when I'm in my garden putting down my irrigation lines, I got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet of irrigation line. I'm going to tell you, every time you have to drop down to put an emitter, the emitter basically is like the little deal where the water comes out. It's almost like a little tiny sprinkler where you pop it in the irrigation hose, the poly or black plastic irrigation hose. If you have hundreds of those things, every time you have to pop one of those things in, it's a squat. It's a deadlift. You are working out when you're in the garden. Back then, you are working out when you have to, slaughter this meat, the Levites. You are working out when you have to prepare this food back then. So we had a lifestyle that kept us in shape. They were bringing water and everything kept us in shape. And I'm not going to tell you I want to go back to every part of that lifestyle, because in some ways I do appreciate some convenience. Any person, for what we've been through as a people, would lie to you and tell you that they don't appreciate some convenience, to where I'd rather have a backhoe or a skid steer instead of a shovel. Personally, I would. I'm just telling you the truth. Now, I would still like a shovel. So when I have a choice to go out there and want to get a little exercise to dig, that's different, because all soil is not created equal when you have clay soil. But what we've been through, I really appreciate a little convenience. But overall, what I'm saying is, we had the dairy. You're getting your vitamin D. You're getting your K2 in the raw milk, goat's milk, cow milk, whatever the case may be, sheep's milk. You're getting your protein and amino acids by eating clean grass-fed animals or livestock. You're getting great chicken eggs. You're getting fats from the yolk. You're getting vitamin D once again. You're getting very similar vitamins in each thing that we ate. You're getting probiotics, obviously, from the milk, like we said, kefir. If you let the milk go sour, you can bake your biscuits. It's all type of things we could do, bake cakes and things like that. Fermented wine, fermented ale or beer. Let me tell you guys, these things kind of kept everything very simple and gave us everything that we needed. And obviously, I can't name everything that we ate, but the lifestyle itself really kept us on point. Eating fish. The fish was giving us the iodine before the sea started to become tampered with. It was giving us more than just iodine, obviously. Any other minerals that we needed. Whatever we didn't get from one thing, we got from another thing. You get what I'm saying? But it was not tainted. Also, the ground that the cows would eat, all of the minerals, the fungus, because there was no lawnmower just always just really just cutting grass. The cows were eating the grass. They were dropping down dung that would, add right back into the ground, because with that dung, it's going to happen. Worms are going to come and break it down. It's going to bring itself back in the soil. You're going to have a fungal network when you have carbon. Usually when you have carbon around, the fungus is going to try to come and break it down. That fungus and the bacteria that it takes to do such a thing, and the arthropods, the microscopic arthropods that do that in that whole network or that whole system that's on the ground. It's like a whole universe on the ground in a system we don't know. All of those things equate to the same types of bacteria in our gut. Those probiotics that you see in that ground. Okay, lactobacillus is everywhere. You have things like it's so many strands. All of these things is what the Most High was saying. I made you from the earth, but a lot of that is in our gut, and we're missing these key elements. We are missing these key elements. So everything is just more modernized, more processed, heavily processed. They're bringing plants and different, trees from one place to another, which kind of messes up the ecosystem to a certain degree, to where they have to graft fruit trees on root stocks that don't have disease. I mean, guys, this is this deep. I mean, we can go on and on. They're planting, maybe sometimes in some areas they may only plant male trees or only female trees, where the trees cannot pollinate to have a proper ecosystem when it comes to pollen. So the pollen is thrown off. The bees, let me tell you, it's crazy out here. Then you have graphene oxide, aluminum, barium, strontium dropping from the sky, also eliminating, you understand, some of the nutrition and messing up our organism itself. So that's why we have to talk about these things, because collagen when you take enough collagen, it's going to produce glycine, which the body naturally produces when you take in your collagen, like chicken skin, eating, boiling the bones, making your bone broth. Okay, so that glycine is going to help with the production of glutathione, so that our lymph nodes are not always swollen and our face is not always puffy, and that we don't have leaky gut and we don't have gut inflammation. That's how important it is of what we're talking about with collagen today. It's that deep. Okay, so let's get it, because the food is weak. The food is weak because the ground, even if the ground does have the minerals, the way that it's the transaction is messed up. Something is getting into the way of the transaction and the transitional network to allow the plants to be able to absorb it, or even lacking what we need in our gut as well. Okay, so now they are putting these artificial minerals in cereals and things like that. So this is where we are, guys. This is why it is important to supplement until we get back to what we're doing. And I believe if you have a garden out there, you should practice. You should practice the gardening the old way. Regenerative farming. I believe that, meaning recycling what the animals spit out and put out and drop out, putting it back right into the earth. This is why you can see an orange or a lemon having more vitamin C inside of the lemon peel than the actual, you understand, part where the juice comes out itself. Okay, yeah. A lot of the, like banana, you might find more of the minerals, okay, inside of the skin. Not that we have to eat the skin, but what's going on is when these things are going back into the ground, it's more dense to put it back into the ground and come right back up into whatever's going to come back out of that ground. The Most High was perfect in all his ways. Okay? So let's continue to go here. So remember, I was going into Proverbs 3 for a lifestyle of obedience, sticking to his laws, his statutes, his commandments, his way of life, his diet, as much as you can, right? Now, you can't go out there and start telling people, because you follow the law, I only eat this and, because all watermelon, for example, does not have seeds. You can take a watermelon with seeds to make a watermelon without seed. That doesn't mean the watermelon without seeds is going to be unhealthy. That's just your choice. But you can't create a doctrine off everything, because it's just not true. And most vegans are juicing watermelons that don't have seeds. So that's a whole nother story. You can't get too deep and realize that we have grace for certain things that we deal with now. It's just the reality of it. You go to a restaurant, you're not asking them, was this watermelon juice having seeds in it? It's like you can't get that deep with everything, okay? My son, forget not thy law, but let thine heart or mind keep my commandments or my ways. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. If you would obey your parents, if you would eat healthy, if you would follow the law, statutes, and commandments, all of these things bring long life. But tonight we're focusing more on health. So let's focus on what we're saying here. What it's saying here of if you basically ate the same way that they ate back in the days. Okay. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the table of thy heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Okay. Let's jump down here to verse 7. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. The Most High be just dropping stuff on here because when it comes to the navel, you guys know, the thing about you can rub essential oils on the navel. Okay, whether the umbilical cord was, you can rub essential oils in that thing, right? And where the blood is made, with the marrow to the bones, all of these things are very, very important. Your bones, the density of your bones is very important to long life, so you don't get things like osteoporosis, which is why vitamin D outside is so important. Being outside is so important. But the issue with being outside and not getting K2, that becomes an issue. We're getting a lot of vitamin D. And those of you who are not, if you have some vaccines or you have some issues absorbing it, or you lacking copper or whatever the case may be, that K2 or that raw, for example, not raw, fermented food diet will help you to get K2. And if you can't take it because it's disgusting to you, you have to take vitamin D3 plus K2 so that your vitamin D is going to go where it's supposed to go in your body. And when you have your magnesium, it's going to also balance out the vitamin D, and vitamin D will balance out magnesium. So on and so forth, okay? So, marrow to thy bones, long life is what we wanted to focus on there. Okay. We can go into Proverbs 16 and 24, talk about health to the bones. Isaiah 58 and 11 talks about the fat of thy bones. Okay. Proverbs, we just read that. Now we can go really quick to Ecclesiasticus 30 and 15, and then we'll get these videos. Ecclesiasticus 30 and 15, just to show you how the Most High, for you to be able to do his will, you would have to keep yourself as healthy as possible. For you to be able to keep up your temple, since they're talking about building third temples and stuff. Oh no, this is the temple now that Christ said we will have. It will not be any more physical temples. This is the temple right here we need to take care of that the demons are trying to tear down. All right? So, and stay tuned tomorrow to our show, A Gathering 144, because I'm sure our main elder and pastor, okay, out of Philadelphia, Elder Rawchaa, is going to possibly go, I don't know what he's going to go into, but I'm sure with all the information that's out there, he possibly going to be going into some of these things about this war that's going on out there with something that was prophesied in Isaiah 13 and Jeremiah 50 and 51 when it comes to the Medes, okay, the Iranians, all right? This is total prophecy, okay, with these guys bringing forth eventually the mark of the beast, but the Most High's hand is also in it to make the nations fight against each other, to distract them from us to a certain degree so we can continue to build and do what we need to do to get from point A to point B, because our kingdom is coming in this. So stay tuned. All you have to do is go to type in A Gathering 144 and subscribe to that, because they will try to unsubscribe you from our channels. Okay, and make sure you subscribe also to this channel here if you just came in, if you're new, G.O.C.C Media. And last but not least, before I go back into the show, we have a Hebrew and Bible Academy, and I'm just going to put it here, and I'm going to tell you how powerful it is before we go forth. This is it here. You go to historytimes.org. If you're a new person, you truly want to understand the Bible without being all over the place and just it all being quantified and being it's just packaged up perfect for you in these last days to get you caught up. So you don't, I mean, I'm not going to say you don't have to study. If you're going to have to study either way, but this will catch you up. And you want to be caught up because right now they're talking about, they just hit Demona, I think, where that nuclear thing is. But I'm going to tell you how powerful this is to get on this academy, because our elder had been telling brothers and sisters, this is a side note, not to go into certain places overseas because these things would eventually happen. He had been saying that, and people would just scoff him and say whatever. We don't care about that. He's just saying what he's going to say to warn and help the people. Okay? We're not saying he's Christ. We're saying, like, listen, we know when the Most High is speaking through us, or whatever the case may be, and it's for the love of the people. Just like Christ said, when you see Jerusalem, when you see the Romans coming to Jerusalem and the armies coming, he said, flee into the mountains. And so they went into certain parts of Africa and different places like that. So no different than, it's like, hey, I know you guys are woken up to who you are, but you're going to places like Israel where you know you're not welcome, and you know Christ said we're not going to be able to go to that land until he returns. And now there's war, and it's hard for people to escape some of these places. So I'm keeping these people in our prayers. But this is a big reason why you want to get in here and get caught up. And everybody on this chat knows for years, over a decade. I mean, guys, it's been plus 15 years. Our elder have been saying, don't be going over there into Demona. Don't be going over there to these places. Hey, Jordan, all these different places, we have nothing against these people. But the whole deal is the scriptures say what they say. Okay? So that's what I'm saying there, right? Get in here. This thing is going to get you caught up. You will learn ancient Hebrew. It's on Saturdays. You get powerful lessons like the fall and rise of Israel, the lost books of the Bible, because so many people, They try to get deep within themselves as if there's some type of walking Bible philosophizing. I got this good feeling that, this happened to me and that happened to me back then, and I feel I'm special. You are special. But you have to believe on the scriptures as it is written. If you start bringing your own philosophy and following your own mind and heart, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be all over the place. You're going to be all over the place. And God can't deal with a person who's all over the place, regardless of how good you feel. Maybe you thinking that marijuana is making you deep. Marijuana, I'm sorry to tell you, with all due respect, is the devil's plant. So we teach all of these different things, okay? It's the devil's plant. A lot of things were created when it comes to splicing. They was just how we can graft trees and do things like that. The fallen angels were teaching mankind. It tells you this in the book of Enoch and all that. They were teaching mankind in the book of Jasher. They were teaching them all types of root cuttings. They were teaching them root cuttings. So it doesn't go into every detail, but they were teaching them root cuttings, different ways to manipulate plants and all that. Some of the technology was good and some of it was bad. They're never going to teach all bad because they have to come as a wolf in sheep clothing to get you to worship them, to get you to believe in them. They come as an angel of light. So obviously some things they would teach good. And that's why some people think that weed is God's plant. No, it's not. I'm sorry to say it, it's not. All right? So anything that smells like sulfuric hell spirit, anything that doesn't smell pleasant. Let's be honest, guys. When you smell somebody who smells like a pound, and it's no disrespect to them because we were all in the world before. This is not judging. This is the truth. When you smell somebody, when I'm just rolling about and I smell weed, we know that certain spirits is dealing with this same smell. A skunk. Which one of you think you would be able to sit next to a skunk and just smell it and chill? That's a foul spirit. I'm going to tell you, my wife was going to the store the other day. We went to the store to pump some gas. And my children were like, hey, that's an Arab guy? Because they never really seen in a long time like them wear the little garment. And I was like, yeah, that's who that is. And I said, man, back then, back where I was living, man, there's hundreds and hundreds of them just on the street. And my wife is like, she's like, she comes in and she's like, man, this guy, no disrespect, but this guy was smelling like very unpleasant, very bad. Like, not trying to be childish, but it was like unbearable. You know how you go in a store where, and I'm saying this for a reason, you can pass by someone. They leave the same aisle, but the whole aisle is still smelling. This is the same thing when it comes to weed. Like, that is a spirit attached to a person who doesn't want to bathe, because a lot of people overseas, unfortunately, they don't like to bathe. I'm just keeping it real. Some part of this is also in their religion of uncleanliness to allow jinns and demons to come on their bodies. I'm telling you the facts. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot of times I'll go places and it's worse than a homeless person type of smell. And I'm not saying every homeless person smells bad, but they don't have the resources to always bathe. And sometimes when that body don't bathe, the Most High, it's certain unclean spirits that comes on you. That's just how this thing goes. And she was like, man, she looked at the dude behind the counter, the Nigerian brother, and they was both looking at each other like, yo, it is real. And my dude's spraying cologne to cover it up. So that's what I'm telling you. Any smell like that, weed, any gateway drug or anything like that, it's not healthy for our temple. They open up portals and windows, you understand, to other demons. So these are the things you're going to learn when you come into this Hebrew and Bible Academy about these type of things. You may feel like you're getting deep. Everybody who smokes weed, they get the Bible, they start talking, and they feel deep. The spirit is deceiving you to have a place of rest, making you feel like you deep, and you just talking about things to relate, but it's like what the scripture says, ever learning but never coming to the knowledge of the truth. So we have to educate our people that we must be sober-minded, circumspect, understanding everything that goes around me. Because then what happens with the spirit, it will start making excuses for you. Oh, no, I can control this. If you can't put it down today, it's controlling you. I'm sorry to tell you. I can drink some grape juice, some mango juice, and put that down because that's something good for the body. It's not addicting. But you take anything addicting and try to tell yourself you can put it down and you can't put it down, it's controlling you. That's just the truth. If you got to go into another conversation to explain too much and become argumentative and turn into a debate and try to convince, nah, it's controlling you. So get into this Hebrew and Bible Academy and understand what's going on from the beginning, right? And now, where we are and where we're going. The fall and rise of Israel is a powerful lesson. The lost books of the Bible, like we're talking about right now. A historical background of the gospel. So you can actually understand the gospels instead of putting your own spin on what Christ was going through. No, we must believe on the scriptures as they are written. Precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Okay? The secrets of the times is something you definitely want to be in tune with. Why? Because, hey, everyone may think that they know the times, but you don't. Anyone can think they can get in the book of Enoch and just read. No, these things are given to the teachers of the Most High. Trust me. They're not just given to that you're just supposed to go online and just share these things with a bunch of people who are going to cast, who are going to stomp on your pearls. You don't cast your pearls before swine. Okay? So this is just a school section of our church on Sundays. Okay? No, it's not for free because guess what? It takes work to put up the platform and for the people to put it together. It's just $150. All right? And it's 3 months. You do it on Sundays. You get a private link, okay, via Ustream, and it's just for you, not to share with your whole crew and everything like that. If they want to study, that's supposed to be between them and the Most High. So if you want to learn about the 364-day calendar and not the 365 calendar, you're going to come to historytimes.org so you can be put up on game because this is God's calendar. Every other country and nations, they have their own calendar. The Coptics, the Chinese, the Ethiopians, yeah. So you may think that living over here in captivity, all right, that we're supposed to be going by this 365-day calendar. You're mistaken. We're not Hamites. We're not African. Yes, some of our people were over here already, but it's the Bible tells you exactly how it all happened. So you get our free lessons because the gospel is free. This is just something to make one studious when it comes to historical things, and just to take time out personally for someone to get something. Okay, so the Bible is free, but this is just something. It's like if you want to actually become a teacher one day and get caught up and really get these powerful lessons, they're not just to put out to I'm saying just to anybody, because these people just take things and they will have people all over the place tossed to and fro with every wind of doctrine. All right? Like the scripture says, give these to the wise. Everyone is not wise. I'm sorry, no matter how deep they feel. From Noah to Moses to Christ. All right? Hey, powerful. So you're going to learn the original Hebrew language that God speaks, not the Yiddish that's in Israel. Also, you're going to get news that obviously America is not going to tell you the real news that goes on unless you've lived on the other side of the world. Okay, so we have our elder Shapat from the other side of the world bringing forth news, world news that you're not going to get because they tried to shadow ban and shut our page down when we put certain news out, okay? So make sure you go to historytimes.org. I just wanted to put those things out there really quick before we continue. So, now, let's get this really quick. Ecclesiasticus. This is a book in the Apocrypha. Okay, so this is another thing you can learn if you stay tuned to our lessons on Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. So Thursday we come back on G.O.C.C. Media. Wednesday we're on A Gathering 144 YouTube channel. Friday we're on A Gathering 144 YouTube channel. At night we may be back on G.O.C.C. Media, or sometime our elder from Dallas, Ramar, will take us to Rumble, because there's certain things he can't speak about on YouTube. And then on Saturday, we teach the Sabbath lesson on A Gathering 144. Then on Sunday, we come back and hit you with that beautiful Hebrew Bible Academy. All we do is work. All we do is work. We don't gossip. We don't put people down to bring ourselves up. And even if someone don't have what we have, we ain't putting them down, because guess what? They're working. So we're not worrying about trying to have everything right and come together with everybody, because Christ's job to gather the elect to the elect. So we don't get into vain arguments and vain time. No one's promised tomorrow. And any of our time can come as a thief in the night. You know what I'm talking about? So, yeah, and you're right. No smoke, even if you smoking meat, you can't just sit in front of smoked meat all day, because too much smoke in the lungs becomes a toxin. So definitely something you would smoke that will cause cancer. So this is the thing, while people think that weed is relevant because it can heal. Well, check it out. The Catholic Church, I mean, they could do exorcisms and take one demon out, but you don't know what's happening to you. They're bringing on a stronger demon. No different than when it comes to a pharmacist or a doctor. They give you a pill to heal one thing, and then that gives you side effects in other areas. Now you're dealing with some in other areas. So that's the deception that Satan have used, coming as an angel of light. Don't forget, the tree was called the tree of good and evil. So it starts off good, and then it ends up evil. No different than you signing a record deal. It starts off good, and before you know it, you realize you got played. This is how you can see Satan's trail coming. Okay? So let the Most High protect you and keep you in line, or stay getting high on cloud nine. I'm not going to feel bad. Get high, my sister and my brother. That's what you want to do. That's on you. I'm telling you, you should be sober-minded in Christ. All right? So, let's continue. Ecclesiasticus 38, Physicians and Illness. We are in the book, the Apocrypha. Okay, something that was taken out the Bible, all right? But it belongs in there. So, honor a physician or a doctor with honor due unto him for the uses which he may have of him. If you need to go to a doctor, use the doctor for what he's good for. But when it comes to general health, if you're taking care of your body, if you're exercising, if you are jumping, if you don't jump anymore, I guarantee you, if you're not doing some type of plyometric moves, your gut is having issues with flushing out and metabolizing things. You have to start to jump again, not just only exercise. Get off of the feet. It is very important when it comes to landing and bone structure and all that. We need to jump a little bit. Even if you got to hold on to something and soft jump, transition yourself until you do it. We're going to maybe rent a gym and show some of the older people how to get themselves back in shape, many different basic ways. All right. So, let's get it here. So yes, you do need to go to the doctor sometimes if you really just need to. Some people will just die because they want to wait on a herb to work. If you need to go and get an emergency done, get the emergency done and then come back and then do regular maintenance. Probably regular maintenance you probably should have been doing before, but you probably didn't know. So it's all good. Okay, you pray to the Most High, and if only a doctor can fix this issue, you go to him. For the Most High had created him. For of the Most High cometh healing. So you have the doctor, because remember, one man water it, other man plant it, another man gives the increase. So in every situation, there's going to be different things. And there's different types of doctors, different types of surgeons, different types of nurses, okay? For of the Most High cometh healing at the end of the day, right? And he shall receive the honor of the king. All right? The skill of the physician shall lift up his head. And in the sight of great men shall he be in admiration, because no one can do what a physician can do. That's why he's called a physician. Not that all doctors are equal. You have different types of doctors. Like I said, they specialize in different things. All right. So you have some person trying to tell you take some herbs, and I get it. But in this situation, you should have been smart enough and wise enough to say this person needs to go to the doctor. And our people have faith in brothers and sisters, and it's all good, but we need to also learn when it's time to go to the doctor. Somebody got their arm cut off, and it's like, yeah, somebody talking about put some comfrey on it, put some herbs on it. It's like, nah, bro, it's time to go to the doctor while we still have situations operating a certain way. Okay? So, the skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration. The Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. Okay? Water, was not the water made sweet with wood, that the virtue thereof might be known? And he that had given men skill, don't forget it's the Most High who gives them men the skill, that he might be honored in his marvelous works. Okay, so it's showing you the Most High still can be honored with the doctors. He heals them at the end of the day. With such doeth he heal men and taketh away their pains. And such doeth the apothecary make a confection, and his works thereof is no end. So now you have people who are good with the herbs. So the doctor, he understands the body in one way, and then he will send you to a herbalist to help you continue in another way. But see, today they just took it in, and made medicine or pharmaceuticals. But back then you would just deal with the herbs. Okay? But my main thing to tell you is you need to eat right and to exercise. You must exercise. This is no thing where you could just not exercise. It's just not happening. Exercise is a part of life. Okay? I know some people, because they're vegan, they tell other people, hey, this is working for me. That's working for you, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't exercise. Because some people, like some men, for example, they want to do that. You don't want to be light as a feather. You're trying to protect your woman, and you can't do nothing. The dude just pluck you, and that's it. A dude just pick you up and toss you, and it's no aggression in you at all, because you have no testosterone, because you're just eating calm vegetables. Okay? And that, do what you want to do, and that's all good, because everybody's not a warrior. But I'm just telling you, it's a balance in life. We're going to talk about this, sister. You can call in about that. I can't answer any questions right now. It's just going to throw me off of all the things I have to go into. So I will answer that question when it comes to that. I have an actual video on the medications. Okay? But I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people are dealing with issues because of the things we're getting ready to go into. The lack of copper. So many people with anemia don't know they're lacking copper because their iron is blocked. The iron can be in your body, and because you don't have copper and you think you're getting it in your diet, it's blocked. So when I started to when I started to understand this more, I said, I have to share this with the people. I have to sell this colloidal copper. I cannot not do it. Some people are taking iron and need iron, and some people are having to get blood transfusions. And I'm like, you know what? They're lacking the copper. It wasn't really about the money for me. I'm like, no one else is telling them that they're lacking copper. This is a whole secret study that people don't know. Some people got iron in them, or so much to where it's becoming varicose veins, or people having heart issues just because they're not getting the small amount of copper we need every day. Yeah. So it's that deep. We're going to go into it, though. So let's finish this off. All right. So, yeah, let's go after verse 9. My son, in thy sickness be not negligent, but pray unto the Lord, and he will make thee whole. So if you know you're sick, you want to try to get to it quick and ahead of time, but you really want to try to do preventative maintenance first to prevent you from being sick. Even though with all of these chemtrails and things like this, boy, it's rough not to get out here and get some chemtrails or some spike proteins that's popping off out here. But if you're taking the right things, for the most part, you're going to be on point. But you need to be on it. So it's saying, don't be negligent. First, pray unto the Most High. That's the first step. Okay? And he will make thee whole. And then you got James 5, where you go to your elders to get anointed and pray for you. Leave off from sin. Basically, it's not saying you're sinning, but if you have any sin in you, you got to leave the sin away, because sickness is deal with sins. Spirits coming in you from sin. And if you are not sinning in that way, it also means you probably have eaten something wrong that you don't know. It's still unclean. It's still in the same parameters of a sin. Stop eating. If you eating some Takis, for example, with some blue dye or some hot Cheetos, and you just always eating this, but you getting sick. And I'm just giving you an example. I'm just generalizing. Whatever you eat, if you're eating something you know not good for you, stop the sin of it. Meaning stop it because it's hurting you. You have to leave off from it, because you can't get healed from somebody and then you go right back to the same thing. If you're drinking alcohol and you're not rehydrating, it's going to damage your liver and kidneys over time. That's just the truth about it. If you don't exercise and you drink a lot, you're more than likely going to have diabetes symptoms. It will happen. It will happen beyond any shadow of a doubt, because over time, that's just what it does. Okay, I've seen it too many times happen. The weight starts to come on you because nothing's working right anymore when it comes to your organs. Hey, and you don't want to exercise. Exercise can fix a lot of things, guys. Exercise can fix a lot of things. You do not want to be pre-diabetic if you don't have to be, because then now you're going to be at the behest of these people who are not going to tell you the right way to heal. The first thing I'm telling somebody, exercise. Get disciplined. And people want to run away from that, and they want to jump to straight veganism. That's cool too. If it's going to heal you, I'm for it. But I'm going to tell you, you need to exercise. Don't think just because you're skinny, you can still be skinny fat. Meaning, you know, you don't have a lot of weight on you. That's all good. Nothing wrong with that. But you out of breath still. How you skinny and out of breath? That's not matching. That means you are not jumping. You're not running. You're not moving. And that means if you're out of breath for something so basic, you run to the mailbox, you're out of shape. The temple needs work. Leave off from sin. Leave off from being undisciplined. Leave off from gluttony. Leave off from making excuses of the things you know you're supposed to fix. It's a process. It will not happen today. It takes time. Okay? But it can take as much time as you allow it to take, because your life is in your hands to a certain degree. And order thy hands aright. Get yourself disciplined. Get yourself on point. Start small. Hey, if you want to start jumping, I'm going to give you a great exercise. Do 1 set of jumping jacks today. Okay? If you haven't jumped on your feet and you're going to get shocked, your ankles are going to get shocked, hold on to something. Do that every day and add 5 to 20, whatever you can add. Keep doing that. Before you know it, you're getting that blood circulation back. Your metabolism is coming back alive. You're heating the blood up, heating toxins up. You're starting to sweat again. This is very important when it comes to the body, plyometrics. You need to jump to keep your bones dense, to tell your body you want to keep living. If you can't do 20 jumping jacks without getting tired, you are out of shape. And it's okay. It takes time. Start with 5. Do 5 every day. The next week, you need to add, 7 to 10, and you keep going. Because we know you're going to go pick up the snacks or your favorite cake or whatever you're going to pick up. It's all good. Because guess what? If you keep doing this long enough, that cake going to burn through you because you've been exercising, and now you can eat as much cake as you want to eat. That's the great part about bodybuilding. You can work out and say, man, I'm finna eat this cake because guess what? I'm finna go hit 1,000 reps, 500 reps. Going to work out for 30, 45 minutes, and it's going to burn it off. Okay? So, leave off from sin or your bad habits, and I'm talking about more for diet right now. So if you got sin, definitely leave that off. If you're watching the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing, around people and all that, listen to the wrong thing, putting wrong things in your body, leave off from it. Get yourself back right. Order your hands right. Get your path back right. Cleanse your heart or your mind from all wickedness. Because that's why you might be dealing with this spirit. Stop dealing with artificial foods. Stop getting these frozen foods with high iodized salt. Why are you eating iodized salt? I'm not being hard on y'all. Even though I'm expressing it this way, it's just to get you riled up to change. You do not need iodized salt. You can do what you want to do. But I'm going to tell you something. Anytime for years I tried to eat iodized salt, high inflammation in my knees. Any place that had pain, eating iodized salt, the pain came quick. If I went to a restaurant that had iodized salt, I know in a day or two I'm going to have knee pain. It happened every single time. When I stayed on sea salt, no issues. That's how I know iodized salt is dealing with some madness somewhere. I would go to the sea when I lived in Egypt, get some water, come back home and cook my salt. Straight from the Mediterranean Sea. That's how I got my salt. My sea salt, right? So yeah, I'm going to now go into these links. Yeah, stirring is good. You don't want somebody to just tell you what you want to hear. These are the when you have people who just tell you what you want to hear, they don't want to see you get better. Oh, you're so beautiful. Don't listen to what they say. You are beautiful, but you can be more beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that. You are smart, but you could be more smart. But God says be content. Okay, well, be content. See, I'm not finna argue and get through all of that. I'm for those who have ears to hear. That's it. Okay? You either want it or you don't. So let's go into this really quick. I'm definitely going to answer the one moment, fair use for educational purposes only. Let's go through a few shorts first, and then we're going to get the main part of it from the rest of these doctors. Right now, let's talk about copper. I bet you didn't know that copper helps with your thyroid. So a lot of people go vegan, and then they don't know about the iron absorption. They may lack B vitamins, and they may lack copper. Let me tell you something, because I take care of livestock. Very similar to livestock, you get something called a bottle jaw. The same very similar things that happens with the thyroid with a lot of people. It starts to get swollen. There's a worm or parasite that starts to eat the blood inside of the livestock. That mostly this happens in goats, but it can happen in cow or sheep as well, and then they end up dying. It starts to eat their blood. They're lacking so much iron. Usually what you do with them, you give them something called red cell, which is iron to put back in their body, or you're going to give them some molasses, because molasses has, copper. I don't know copper, it has like a magnesium. It has, what am I trying to say? Iron. Okay, it has things like that in it. So you give that to them, and that's going to help them get the iron, but then you're going to have to give them something to deal with that parasite. Okay? So I'm not saying everybody who has anemia has a parasite. That's not what I'm saying. But a lot of times they're having issues from this one mineral we're lacking that does not seem to be in every farmland or ground, because if it was, we would not be having issues with having to supplement with it. The chicken poop when it decomposes and you put in your garden, they even have copper in that. Pretty powerful, isn't it? So we have to do regenerative farming, put it back into the ground so the plants can absorb it, so the grass and the ground is fertile. These things are very important, guys. So let's check this out really quick from Dr. Janine, okay? Check it out. Is this the one I wanted? This is not the one I wanted. 1 second. Let's see. There we go. The copper. The other one was about ashwagandha. So let's see, can we get her volume up there?
Copper. Now, this important mineral is important. Here are some warning signs that you are low in copper. Now, this important mineral is important for your thyroid. So if you have low thyroid function, because we know that copper helps for your T4 to T3 conversion, really important, as well as white patches on your skin. So if you're getting vitiligo, even premature gray hair can be an indication that you're low in copper.
So copper also helps with melanin production. Copper helps with the thyroid. Okay. It also helps with anemia to make sure the blood is moving. The blood pressure is on point. So a lot of people think they have issues in other areas. They may just be lacking copper. It's such a small amount we have to take. If you were getting it from the food, you may be getting it from some food. You may get it from chocolate sometime. Who knows? But if you're having these issues, that means your food is weak. You buy. I don't care if you buy organic. Give me a break with this organic stuff. Let me tell you, I've been blessed to drink raw milk, eat my own cow. Let me tell you, this organic stuff, it doesn't always have what you think it has. And sometimes I even spray. That's why I have to soak all of my food in chlorine dioxide. I don't care if it's labeled organic or whatever. Even when you go to the store where they spraying that stuff where the vegetables are, there's chemicals in that too. It's not just water. It's to help preserve those things. I come back, tell my kids, any blueberries I get, even if they're organic, soak that stuff in chlorine dioxide. Yes, you can use vinegar. Yes, you can use baking soda. But the reason I do chlorine dioxide because I know it's going to neutralize graphene oxide, anything. That's why I use that. But when we talk about nutrition, man, this copper is very important, and it's such a small amount. If you don't have the small amount, I told you guys, I had a pain in this elbow. If you lift weights, if y'all brothers out there lift weights, you know what I'm talking about, the brothers and sisters, and you get these elbow tendonitis or pain, I'm telling y'all, I had the pain for a whole year. I would never take copper. We always knew how to make this colloidal stuff, but it's like, okay, well, the whole deal is I'm getting it in other foods, I'm thinking. Why am I still having the pain? I'm icing it. I'm putting heat. I sell supplements. I'm taking all of these things. It's not working. Okay, well, one of the supplements that I wasn't taking that I thought I was getting was copper. So I said, okay, baby, we need to make some colloidal copper. Boom. Make our colloidal copper. Pain went away in 2 days. Wow. So you mean to tell me all the foods that are supposed to have it in there don't have it in there that I buy from the store? It's very sad. So I'm spending all of this money and you still don't have what you need in the food. So that's why I'm telling vegans, it's a bad time to be a vegan, in my opinion. This is an opinion, it's not law, because the vegetables are being sprayed. They're trying to put mRNA in vegetables too. And they're doing things to the vegetables and making them weak. So even though we eat them, it's not sustaining our temple with enough strength. So get yourself a garden and start to do regenerative farming. We're going to continue to talk about the farming and how to do that. Okay? Very simple, really recycling and turning things into compost and sitting it on the garden or planting cover crops and things like that, mowing it down, putting it back in the earth. Really simple stuff, but not to everybody. So we're going to go into it to show you how to do it. And it takes about 1 to 4 years to really, really get the results and the increase in the fruitfulness in this type of garden. Okay? Let's continue.
If your immune system is skin, so if you're getting vitiligo, even premature gray hair can be an indication that you're low in copper. If your immune system is compromised, you're getting a lot of colds and flus, again, you could be low in that copper.
Look at that. Look, let me tell y'all, this is how deep we think we getting everything from the food. This is how deep it is. This is how deep it is. Let me tell you, we think of something, say organic. Nah, you know how many people are suffering from these issues and don't know they're lacking copper? Yeah. And you have to be careful with taking the wrong type of copper or too much, because then it make you feel like you got to throw up. So that's another thing, you know?
So my tips are to eat some foods that are higher in copper. So things like oysters. So 6 oysters.
We don't eat oysters. We don't eat unclean foods. So sometimes these doctors will recommend things and they have good intentions, but you're dealing with people with a lawful diet. Okay, so that's why I sell colloidal copper, because it's more gentle on the stomach. It tastes just like water. It don't even taste like nothing. And then when you got copper with the collagen we're getting ready to talk about, boom. Now, you can try to eat some of the foods that she's saying and still hope you can get it if you're getting it from a good source. But the issue is, even if you're getting it from a good source, you need to be consistent. This will need to be an everyday lifestyle for you to get copper, because we're lacking it that much in the soil. It's that gone in the soil. And if it's there, you need to do the right forming to be able to pull it up through your vegetables. Some people assume that because certain vegetables and herbs have certain things in them that they're going to always pull it from the ground. That's not always true. Don't let people lie to you. If the cows are having to be supplemented with iodine, supplemented with certain minerals, that means it's not in the ground, guys. It's not always in every person's soil. Every person has different soil types. So what you can do is you can get certain soil tests to see what your ground may be lacking. Okay?
Will give you 133% of your RDI for copper. Dark chocolate also has some copper. 3.5 ounces will give you
LionsHomestead.com is where we have the copper if you want it. Somebody asked. Let's go.
88% of your RDI, and sunflower seeds, just 1 ounce, 26% of the copper that you need daily.
Are you eating sunflower seeds every day? And if you are, where are you getting them from? Who's growing them? How are they growing them? Are they putting artificial fertilizers, commercial fertilizers? Just because you see the plant doesn't mean it's full of nutrients. This is the part we have to understand. I eat this every day. You're still lacking it. I'm telling you the truth. It's so annoying that we have to live this way now. But this is when we don't follow the Most High, what happens? We need to get back to farming the old way. And if you're going to use a fertilizer, I know some fertilizers say organic, but if that fertilizer does not have good bacteria and fungus in it, then to help to get in that soil, I'm sorry to tell you, that's not a good fertilizer. And if you want your fertilizer to work quickly, you put acid in it so it can receive it very quickly. All right?
You can also supplement with
I'm talking about acid fertilizer, something that's like for azaleas and roses and stuff like that. It will help it to absorb it right away.
a high-quality whole food supplement of zinc plus that copper in a 12-to-1 ratio. Here are some warnings.
So when it comes to zinc and copper, you take too much zinc, you may have issues with absorbing copper. You take too much vitamin C, high doses at the same time, you're going to have issues with absorbing the copper. Then you're going to be right back in the same position. So sometimes you need to separate it. Okay, some people start taking high zinc after 2020 for the COVID thing. But that's not necessarily what you have to do. Okay, you just get a normal balance of, if you're going to take vitamin C and copper close, you don't take too much vitamin C with it. But I take high doses a lot of times, so sometimes I separate 2 to 4 hour window when I take my copper and my vitamin C, trying to continue to rebuild old ligaments and tendons in these knees, So let's go to the next video. And like I said, I'm sorry, guys, I cannot answer any questions right now. I cannot answer any questions until you call in. I'm sorry. So I will open up the lines. Don't worry about it. I can't see and keep the show flowing.
About copper and its physiological role.
Fair use for educational purposes only.
In your skin's health and aging. When copper is used topically, it has been shown to improve your body's ability to heal itself. That's wound healing and cell regeneration. It also helps to balance out your skin's microbiome, normalizing the bacterial concentrations on the surface of your skin.
Did you hear that? Did you hear how many functions copper have? This is not going to be the only show I'm going to go in about copper. It's so much that copper does. This show had to be more so mixed with copper, collagen, and vitamin C a little bit. But I'm more so focusing on collagen right now because of the longevity of life and the amino acids and the peptides we may be missing tonight. but I'm going to do a show specifically on copper, specifically, because I've been studying copper for a while. So specifically on copper, there's so many aspects to copper, it will blow your mind. You pretty much running on fumes if you're not dealing with copper. I'm up 3, 4 in the morning, ready to go, ready to exercise from taking copper. I will pop my colloidal silver, copper, and gold at night before I go to sleep with my magnesium. Man, I'm up 5, ready to run a whole race. Energetic. And now I used to, since Elder Rawchaa is the one who put us on colloidals when I first came into the truth. So I had been taking colloidal, gold, copper, and all that since I first came into the truth. But I'm gonna tell you, I was always having energy from taking that stuff. It make you, man, it gives you so much energy. So I take it morning and I take it night. Okay.
And of ultimate importance to most of you who watch my channel, copper helps to tighten up your skin because, as you know, as we get older, we lose collagen in the skin, elastin fibers become more stretchy and loose, leading to fine lines and wrinkles and that droopy, crepey skin that everyone works so hard to avoid or get rid of. Copper is very helpful to your skin's overall elasticity, that's shoring up those levels of collagen and elastin so that fine lines and wrinkles don't occur. It can really help with the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles that have already formed. So what about copper and its physiological role in your skin's health and aging? When copper is used topically, it has been shown to improve your body's ability to heal itself. That's wound healing and cell regeneration.
You hear that wound healing of why my elbow was healed from that? In 2 days. 2 days of something that didn't get healed in a whole year. I'm talking about when I land, when I jump, I feel like I'm in my 20s. When I'm stopped taking it, that's when you feel that you must keep taking it. That's just how it goes. So I'm like, man, I used to jump and play apartment chase, jumping from 2 stories, boom, and we'd be good. And you know your elasticity when it comes to your ligaments and tendons, with your collagen, is really best at about the 17 through early 20s. And you know how you feel if you're an athlete, how that feels. So when I'm jumping and landing, I'm like, man, hold up, man, this stuff is amazing. So when you're very consistent with it, right? Consistent with those important things like MSM, vitamin D, copper, collagen, vitamin C. These things all work in tandem together to make sure we have you know, obviously even other things like zinc and magnesium. We just have to really take everything on point to make sure we have strong bone structure, right? So just want to put that out there really quick. Let him finish it.
Also helps to balance out your skin's microbiome, normalizing the bacterial concentrations on the surface of your skin. And of ultimate importance,
not only does copper do this on the body, it does this in the soil. It helps the bacteria in the soil, guys. You can't overput it because then it will kill it, okay? But when it comes to enzyme function, copper is very, very, very important. So we have to go real deep into copper another time, but I wanted to just put that out for you really quick. You want to be fine like wine? I'm going to tell you right now, the copper is going to have you. I got some people who be ordering my little face spray, just like the little copper face spray. This is pure copper. It really works to make sure it helps that collagen, right? So let's go to the next doctor here. Fair use for educational purposes only. All right, here we go. We have Dr. Peter Osborne, and he's going to explain to you about benefits of copper no one really talks about, okay? Let's get it. You know, Esau got these type of little intros, these joints right here.
Alrighty, copper is an essential mineral, and what that basically means is your body can't produce it. You have to get copper from the diet. Now, we're looking at some of the functions of copper in the body. If we break these down kind of very simplistically put here, copper aids iron absorption. Copper is an antioxidant. It plays a role in a system called SOD, superoxide dismutase. Copper plays a role biochemically in how your blood clots. So very, very important in that component. Blood pressure as well.
Very, very, very important. How your blood clots. Some people are dealing with varicose veins. Some people are dealing with blocked iron. Even though they're taking iron, they're still having issues. That's why some people say, well, I'm taking enough iron. How am I still anemic? You don't have copper. Excuse me. You know I'm drinking right now. I'm actually drinking protein collagen right now. And I even be putting a splash of copper in that thing. So, yeah, but you're not getting the copper. This is the issue. It is so important. It's such a small amount of copper you need. And when you don't get it on the regular, you can't be taking copper once a week. You can't do it. I'm sorry. You are supposed to have what a powerful mineral this is. How they took the copper pipes out and all that. I have a copper cup. We have a big copper jug inside of the kitchen. And sometimes we will let the water sit in there even longer. Because people try to say, you got to watch out for copper toxicity. Yeah, because they don't want you to have it. We had copper pipes. What are you talking about? So let me tell you, man, these people have messed everything up. Yeah, you have to eventually, get your pipes either cleaned or replaced to a certain degree sometimes. But you can run certain things through to clean the copper pipes and all that. Right? Very, very important. If you're taking iron and you're still anemic, you need to have copper as a lifesaver. It's not a game. It is not a game. And if you're one of these people, not only would I be taking my colloidal copper, I would also get me a copper vessel and learn how to use it. Put you a little oil on the rim so the rim don't get rusted. You don't really have to wash it that much. You don't really need to put lemon and all that in it. Just let the copper sit in there overnight. I'd be letting mine sit in there for days sometimes, and I would drink that thing because you're not going to get no copper toxicity from a small amount. That's just a lie. But to each his own. This is what I do. I can't tell anybody else what to do. I like the copper. It's crazy because the goats, if the goats don't get copper, they get a lot of parasites. Deep. Right? And they be dropping it in some of these movies. When it comes to like Blade, the vampire killer, when they dealing with the silver, how he was killing these vampires. On one level, we know what that means when it comes to the demons and the Nephilim. But then on another level in the body, silver is another thing that they were putting in fish tanks and all type of stuff. It's silver. Why I have colloidal silver? Because it deals with, I just said the word, right? When it comes to parasites, that's all I'm going to say. All right? So you talking about powerful.
Copper has been linked to blood pressure problems. And in
what did he say? Lack of copper have been linked to blood pressure problems. The doctor telling you got issues and stuff, and you just lacking things in your diet because you're eating things that just don't make any sense. Huh? Yeah. Now I'm going to tell you, if you only getting copper from a copper cup, you will not be able to get enough copper. I have that as extra because throughout the day, I personally try to get as high copper as I can that's just the type of person I am. I try to, like for MSM, they'll give you the dosage of MSM, but me, I take 6,000 milligrams. Any more than that, it's for a horse. So some things for me, I take high because of necessity for me. I have partial ACLs that are still healing for years. I've injured my Achilles tendon. There's things that I'm still healing. So I take high doses because it will speed it up faster. So that's what I do. But I'm not telling you what to do, and I'm not your doctor. So you can't say, Elder told me to do this. I'm telling you what I do. You have to do the research for your faith and works for you. I am teaching you tonight and give through doctors for you to do your research to see what's good for you.
Myelin sheath. This is a big one here, especially with the quantity or the increase in the rise of the disease multiple sclerosis. A lot of people have demyelinating autoimmune disease and don't even realize that copper might be playing a role in that. So
I didn't have to drop that on you tonight. You see how important this is? You see, I'm leaning back. I'm just chilling with y'all. You see how important it is? Because I knew he gonna drop it on you. Some people don't. Some people think, oh, some copper, I could just get it in chocolate. You ain't making the chocolate. You ain't making the chocolate. Huh? You know how many people out there have multiple sclerosis? And they may not know, man, I'm just lacking some copper possibly. That could be, we don't know. I don't know what each person is lacking, but this doctor is saying that a lot of them may not know, like, you guys are lacking copper. Guys, most Americans are not getting copper. Most Americans are not getting iodine. That's why there's a book called The Iodine Crisis. We think this can't be possible for some reason. As an athlete who knows his body, I know what I'm missing. Let me tell you, I know how to listen to my body. Trust me. Example, if I have a shot of some quality liquor, I don't even care if it's quality, and then it's just a little shot, and I go work out, every time what happens to my body is so sensitive, it will pull a muscle or something will lock up or something. Yeah, this is what happens. So if I don't hydrate the next morning, I have to wake up every morning. If I wanted to drink something like that, I don't care if I drunk more, whatever, but the whole deal is you must rehydrate. It's going to push all of your hydration out of your body when you drink things with high caffeine, alcohol. It's going to push your hydration out of your body. This is going to happen no matter what you think. So I wake up in the morning. I got my little turmeric I put in my water. My wife put my turmeric in my water, put salt in my water, or my soul water, Soleil water, or you can put mineral drops. And I might sell y'all some mineral drops soon, whatever. All right, to help you with that. You know what I mean? I take a little, so I'm getting potassium, whatever the case, what I need. I drink 2 glasses of that. Not only, I'm going to give y'all a little key. What a doctor put me on when it comes to allergies. Not only does that help to rehydrate you because it's warm, and it's better when it's warm in the morning. And I do this before anything else. Have my little lemon in there, whatever the case may be. I never drink lemon water without salt. I never do that. That's going to dehydrate you again. It must have sodium. I do that. And guess what? Not only does it help with hydration, a lot of that dehydration we don't know we be having be help making the allergies worse. So the more consistent I was with that, less allergies. I mean, I would have allergies where I was sneezing all day from these old vaccines they gave us when we was young. Okay? On top of everything they put in the air and all types of foods and stuff that just keeps your gut off. So the whole deal is, not only does that help you with rehydration if you drink liquor sometimes from time to time, it will help you if you have allergies, if you do it consistently. I'm telling you right now. You don't have to have turmeric. I'm just talking about lemon and salt water. Warm water is going to hydrate you faster. I do 2 cups. It's even more better. The more consistent I am with that, I don't care if pollen is out. It's really, I barely ever have allergies anymore. Okay, and I never heard a doctor say that. I was shocked to hear that, and I'm like, man, you mean to tell me I was dehydrated, thinking I wasn't dehydrated? So you have to learn your body. So I'm dropping it on you tonight. MS, multiple sclerosis. You could be lacking consistent copper. Wow, you know how many people have that and trying to deal with that? Tell y'all, man, y'all, you want to miss the farming lessons? You want to miss these type of lessons? Go ahead and miss them. You don't listen, you won't glisten. You're going to miss it. Let's go.
if you have a diagnosis of MS or know somebody out there who's struggling with MS.
Now, if you want to be exact with your copper, usually people take on average 4 to 6 milligrams. And some people who want to take higher milligrams, they take 10. But personally, I have other copper that I'm going to eventually sell. I just haven't put it up yet. I got like the best absorption of copper that's out there. I just haven't put it up because the colloidal copper is just very gentle on the stomach. You take too much of this other joint, I mean, you know how you get ready to throw up and it just feels like, so I really like things that's gentle on the stomach. And that's why I really deal with that. But high copper would be no more than 10 milligrams, just to put it out there from research from a doctor.
Information about copper with them.
But on a regular, 2 to 4, mid 4 to 6, high 6 to 10.
Again, the myelin sheath, the coating around your nerves, requires copper to be able to be formed. We also know that copper plays a role in adrenaline.
Listen to that again.
Formed. We also know that copper plays struggling with MS. Share this information about copper with them because, again, the myelin sheath, the coating around your nerves, requires copper to be able to be formed. We also know that copper plays a role in adrenaline, also sometimes referred to as epinephrine or epinephrine. Those terms are used interchangeably. So adrenaline and dopamine production. So think of this as neurotransmitters, right? So dopamine is the neurotransmitter that helps us feel calm and relaxed. It also helps us cope with stress.
Synthesizes and activation and inactivation of adrenaline and dopamine. Check that out. Copper.
Adrenaline is one of the primary stress hormones. So if we don't have adequate copper, we can't get to dopamine, subsequently can't get to adrenaline, which makes us less adaptable to stress. So we can start to develop anxiety, among other major symptoms of low levels of dopamine and adrenaline. Copper is also important for building of new blood vessels. Now, this has to do very much with collagen. Copper plays a role in the formation of collagen. Now, many of you probably take a collagen shake or use a collagen protein. And so what happens is when you drink those collagen shakes, what you're really after is you're after the amino acids within those shakes, right? The amino acids like proline and lysine.
I take the copper in the morning and then I take it at night. You really can take it anytime, but I personally like to take it at night. I take it with gold and silver. You don't have to do that. I take it at night because it really pops me up in the morning. It helps me to recover. And I also take it in the morning because I like that boost. And being an athlete, I just really want to be 100% as much as I can. Okay? Because it helps with so many other things we're reading about right now. I mean, we're studying right now.
Is what collagen is rich in. These amino acids, they once we break them down and absorb them.
Pay attention.
Our body reutilizes them to generate collagen. Now, collagen is what's called a triple helix.
You need to pay attention to this part. You need to understand this. You really need to understand this. This is very important for you to understand how this works. Very important.
What collagen is rich in. These amino acids, they once we break them down and absorb them, our body reutilizes them to generate collagen. Now, collagen is what's called a triple helix or a tripeptide protein. It kind of looks like this, where you have 3 strands that cross over each other, and then in between the strands, you have these little linkages. These are called crosslinks, and these are copper dependent. So think of if you're using...
Say what? These collagen amino acids and peptides are copper dependent. If you don't have copper in your body, your collagen elasticity, your ligaments and tendons, the elasticity will not be strong. So even if you're trying to produce it, it will not be strong.
In proteins, but you're low in copper, what happens is, yes, you can still make the collagen. You can still take that collagen and make your own collagen from it. But if you're low in copper, these little cross ladders don't form. And what happens, why are these important? They're important for the elasticity.
So now when you're playing sports, even though you have collagen production popping off through your tendons, your ligaments, all this, but the whole deal is, when you're making little cuts and moves, it's not as strong. So you need the copper to make sure it's strengthened a more, and the elasticity is elasticity is more strong, more durable. Very, very, very important.
Strengthen the elasticity. So low copper will make your collagen basically more brittle and easier to break, right? So for example, if we put this...
It's crazy he says that, because I remember when I messed up one of my knees. One day, I just woke up early in the morning and I squatted down to get something from under the refrigerator. My other ACL tore just like that. That shows me how much I was lacking in this mineral. Because you can have your collagen production popping out, but you don't have the copper. It's not strong enough. So you just start getting injured for anything. And that's why as you get older, guys, if you fall, you can break stuff and you can stay injured. The collagen and the copper is so important when it comes to your bone structure and all these things and your inflammation. It's very important, guys. You want to pay attention.
Okay, into a blood vessel. This is collagen that goes into the elasticity of blood vessels, how they contract and relax, how they stretch, right? This can lead to this is one of the connections that it actually has to blood pressure, is it leads to less elasticity within the vessel itself, exerting more pressure.
Sister Levon Brown, you won't know until you start taking it. Start being consistent. Go online and see people who have high collagen diets. But remember, you have to have the copper with it. Okay? You'll see a lot of great results. Powerful results.
Wall. If this happens in the skin, so away from the blood vessels, if it happens in the skin, your skin can have less resiliency, less bounce back, right? Because the collagen in the skin is very important in that regard. And many of you take skin versions of collagen in hopes, to increase that skin elasticity, but without copper, it's not going to do you a whole lot of good. So again, back to why it's the collagen crosslinks here. Copper also plays a major role in immune system function. So one of the things copper is important for is the white blood cell production. And what we'll see oftentimes in labs is people will have low white blood cells, but specifically we'll also see low neutrophils, a special type of white blood cell. So if you've ever had a CBC, a complete blood count test done through your doctor, and your white blood cell counts are always low, your neutrophil counts are low, this could very well be a copper deficiency, and you would want to ask your doctor to check into that for you, making sure that this is not what's creating that. We know that copper plays a role in brain function. And
now you're going to have a good doctor. If you're asking your doctor, I'm sorry to tell you, if you got a doctor who's trying to be a cash cow, I don't think they're going to tell you if you're lacking something like this. And I know this to be the case because we've had people tell us things like, hey, they've went to doctors for years, and until I brought out the iodine, and they knew what to ask, that's when, they got, a different type of answer. So you have to have a good doctor. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you got to have a doctor who you have a relationship with is what I'm saying, right?
Remember, there are areas of your brain where dopamine is also produced. So aside from brain function and development, dopamine.
Terrible leg cramps after workout. You need, like I said, I can't answer every question, just call. But you definitely need recovery. You need creatine, you need glutamine, you need protein, you need electrolytes. Very simple. Copper, like collagen.
There's an area of the brain called the substantia nigra. This area is where we produce most of our dopamine. And so if you've ever heard of Parkinson's disease, which is an autoimmune disease where dopamine production is compromised because of an autoimmune response to this area of the brain, okay, and so a person starts to have what are called tremors or tremor disorders. Well, we know copper deficiency can also contribute to neurological problems through this dopamine. You don't have to necessarily have Parkinson's disease for the reduction in copper's ability to help your body produce dopamine. So very important to understand. Pigmentation of the skin. There's a pigmentation in our skin that is copper dependent. So copper, without copper, you can basically develop white discoloration of the hair. So your hair could be almost like premature gray or turn light or white.
Not only that, you guys will have low melanin production when you're out there in the sun. You see, if you're naturally sometimes seeing yourself can get dark before, but you're not able to get dark as you can, you have a low copper production. Okay, you can have sometimes gray hair is genetics, but if it's not genetics for you, and you're seeing too much gray hair, you can also be lacking copper. Just so you know. And like I said, the way our people think for some reason is, I did it today. Today is not going to do anything. Sometimes you got to do stuff for 3 to 6 months consistently before you see results. Each body is different. Some people's metabolism absorbs things very slow. So our people think, man, I've been doing it for a week, I didn't see nothing. That's because your metabolism is slow. Your parasites is eating your stuff. Your medication is eating your stuff. Or you don't exercise to absorb anything. It's a whole lot more that goes with this. You need to learn how to be consistent long enough. We're only getting 1 to 3% of collagen. You're supposed to be getting 30% through your diet. Eating skin from the chicken, okay? And I'm not talking about the fatty joint. Make sure that thing, if you got to save the skin and fried it, some crackling, that's some chicken crackling or something, that's different. Or you cook that thing crispy, because you know black folks, we ain't trying to eat no fatty skin that's just watery. We ain't rolling like that. Now, if y'all do that, you still getting your collagen, but they don't cook that for me. I ain't rolling with it like that. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm just saying, you get your bone broth, and like I said, you could take collagen powder. This is why you see collagen powder is very expensive. It's not expensive just because. It's expensive because it works. Okay?
Your skin could be light complected. You could be more light complected as a result of a copper deficiency. So that
you can be more light defected. Meaning you can't get dark, your total potential of being dark because you lack copper. It's a serious thing. It's like, guys, such a small amount of copper will make you lack melanin production. It's that serious. It's not a game.
Expose you or make you more susceptible to sun burning and things of that nature. And again, we've talked in the past in many shows about how sunshine is super important for health. So we don't want to not be able to get out in that sun because we're not producing adequate skin pigment due to a copper deficiency. And then one of the other massive or major functions of copper is that it aids in bone mineralization. So your bone is this matrix, and a lot of people, will talk about calcium, right, as being the bone mineralizer, but it's not just calcium. Magnesium's important, zinc is important, copper is important, vanadium, boron. There are a lot of minerals that go into bone mineralization.
Why does my bones hurt? Guys, you have to take vitamin D3 plus K2 if you don't eat fermented foods. You have to. If you don't eat fermented foods every day, or at least 4 out of 7 days a week, you need vitamin D3 plus K2, because your vitamin D is not absorbing in your body good. If you're not taking magnesium, if you don't get zinc in your food, if you don't have copper, very important. So you either eat things like, that's why I told y'all about the bread. The bread has like a lot of minerals in it. It has most of the minerals and vitamins in the bread. If you fresh mill it. If not, you're gonna have to get you some wheat germ, okay? Because it has some of these other things that's in there, but it don't have all of them. But the copper, I can tell you, we do get calcium, magnesium, and zinc and things. But I can tell you, you are not getting copper in a lot of stuff. That's one of the main things that's missing out of that ground. Iodine is one of the main things that's missing out of that ground. I'm telling you some real stuff right now. I can't make it up. I'm telling you.
Copper, again, being a very important one, and we know there are some.
Can you take copper in capsules and it still works? Hey, man, if you take the wrong copper, you're going to have to be careful. You can't just grind up some copper wires and start taking some copper. You got to be really careful. So you want to take something that's bioavailable for the body. Personally, I know all the different types of copper, but there's one that's the best. Like I said, I haven't put that one on the market, but I do have it. But I just find that so many people have seen the results from the colloidal copper. I'm not really in so much of a rush. but I will add the other one up soon for people who just want to know exactly how much they're getting.
To bone loss and osteoporosis and long-standing or long-term copper deficiency. So a lot of very important functions of what copper does.
Oh, you meant collagen, True Spitters? Can you take collagen in capsules? Of course. Yeah, of course, my brother. Yeah, we got some on Key. It's grass-fed. We got grass-fed collagen. But yeah, you can take it in capsules, man. But mine don't taste like nothing. I put it in my tea, my Lion's Brew tea, or I put it in milk or juice or whatever, or my protein shake like I got it right here, and I just drink it like that.
For you in the body. Hey.
Thank you, Mr. Osborne, for giving us such powerful information. We really appreciate you, sir. We really appreciate you for doing your due diligence on that, for allowing us to be able to share that on our channel today. Okay? That was very, very helpful. Very helpful. Before we go into, you know what? No, we're going to do the medicines that interfere after. We're almost done here. Fair use for educational purposes only. All right, let's go to Mr. Berg, Eric Berg. I'm sure you guys have seen Eric Berg, Dr. Eric Berg. Thank you, Mr. Berg, for allowing us to use your video for this great information on here. We really appreciate it, sir.
Talk about the real benefit
fair use
of collagen that people are not talking about, probably because they don't know. But this information is quite fascinating because most people take collagen for their hair, for their skin, for their nails, for their joints, to prevent wrinkles, to make themselves more beautiful. But the real purpose of collagen has nothing to do with beauty. But today we're going to talk about what that real purpose is. Let me first give you just a little background on collagen. A long time ago, our ancestors lived very differently than we do in modern times. We ate nose to tail. We ate the organ meats, the bone marrow. And a lot of this also boiled down the cartilage.
Now, when he says ancestors, we don't know what ancestors he's talking about. We don't know if he's talking about cavemen, but we didn't necessarily eat every little part of the animal. So I'm just putting that out there. We're not lions. Lions and beasts, they will eat the organs of the animals. A lot of those things we would sacrifice to the Most High, and we would eat the meat, you know, the nice parts of the meat. So, you know, I'm not eating no cow nose. So whatever he means by that, I don't know, but you're still going to be able to get it when you deal with bone broth and things like that.
Different knuckle joints. And within chicken bones, we made various stews. If we take a look at all of our protein in our body, 30% of it is collagen, which is a different type of protein.
30% of the protein in our body is collagen. So when you see me take this protein shake, I am a 210-pound man to 215, depending up and down, depending on my diet. Okay, so I at least need to have 210 grams of protein a day. 30% of that needs to be collagen. So collagen needs to stay in my house. We deal with the bone broth from our animals. We have our own bones from our own meat and own cows. We deal with the bone broth from it. We take the chicken bone broth, but it's more collagen and strength in the beef. That's just the truth of the matter. I'm sorry to tell you, but we deal with both. We eat we black people, we Israelites, we eat the chicken skin, and as long as it's crispy and not soggy, you get it like that. When we was young, we used to eat Jello, but the whole deal is I don't prefer processed foods like that because I don't know what's real because everything can be artificially produced. So personally, I don't just trust everything from the store. I'm sorry to tell you, because they can make some things from China and in East India that will blow your mind. And you were thinking that it's coming from the proper source, and before you know it, you're getting cancer. So I put my collagen. I take 2 of these shakes a day. Okay. And I put enough collagen in here that's going to make up 30% of my weight. Okay. On top of me getting extra in the bone broth and things like that, because I want to be very consistent with what I'm dealing with. Because 90% of the collagen is going to turn into amino acids. And then the doctor said that it's going to be left with about 10% that are going to be the peptides. And that those things are going to be used to go back into your body and try to heal you in certain areas. This is why it's so important to not play around with it. Only 1 to 3%, okay, seem to be getting enough collagen in America. That is very bad. That is very bad. That means our diets are no way near shape, form, fashion like the old days. So we're getting enough protein and amino acids, beans, rice, beef, chicken, but we are not getting enough collagen if our body is made up of 30% of it. Very, very, very important to listen to what the doctor is saying here.
Collagen makes up all the connective tissue, which includes the glue that holds everything together, includes the tendons, the ligaments, the cartilage, the fascia, which is like surrounding everything that holds everything together, that gives you your shape. A good portion of your bones are collagen as well. But in modern times, like right now,
most of our body is dealing with this collagen, ligaments, tendons, cartilage, arteries. How important it is for us to learn about this today. How important it is for us to be able to deal with this diet instead of just throwing the bones out. No, don't throw the bones out if you boil them and can use some broth. Now, you're not going to have your whole amount in the broth, but if it's a regular thing, you're getting it on the regular, is what I'm saying. If you're eating tough parts of the meat, instead of like a lot of the marbleized cows that's in the store, a lot of those cows do not have enough collagen in it because you get most of the collagen in a lot of the tough meats. Like, some of the steaks that are tough, what's some of those steaks called? The chuck and all of that. A lot of those is where you're going to get most of the collagen, not from the tender stuff. We can eat the tender stuff with joy, but if you want collagen, it's in more of the tough parts of the meat, all right? The round and the chuck steaks, things like that.
tender meat. That means meat without very much collagen. We like lean chicken breast, right? We don't like tough meat. So our diets right now really only have between 1% and 3% of the protein being collagen.
That is not good, guys. I'm here to tell you right now, that is why a lot of us are going through issues. If your body is made up of 30% of collagen and you're not getting that every day, okay, or at least close to it on a consistent basis, some of your issues with your gut, some of your issues with your inflammation, because you lack glutathione, because collagen has a lot of at least 30% possibly of glycine, which glycine is going to help with the production of glutathione, which is going to help make sure the lymph nodes is not holding all of these toxins. That your body's going to be getting rid of toxins with one of the main toxin tools, glutathione. So your body can produce it, but without collagen, without copper, our bodies suck. We could talk all of this stuff about herbs. I mean, listen, herbs cannot do everything. I'm sorry. They can't do everything. You are not going to be putting a big salad of basil with some salad dressing and some salt and some vinegar or some lemon and pop that thing off every night. You're gonna be having stomach aches. Your stomach line ain't gonna be done. Let me tell you, who eats a big bowl of cilantro alone? So don't be listening to these people who always talk about herbs and then they got 3 bowls of salad talking about they finna invite you to dinner. No. It's way more than that. Than just eating some plants. Plants don't have enough collagen for you. They don't.
Whereas we need 30%. This sets us up for a big situation.
We need 30%. We need 30%. It's not a bargain. This is not a bargain, guys. So I'm bringing this out to Unite to help you. And the reason I'm emphasizing it that way, because I want to help you. But you got to want to help yourself. I can just keep this information to myself. Why you feel so good? Why you look so good? Why? Hey, because I'm staying on it, baby. If Christ gave me information and wisdom, I'm going to take it. But I'm willing to show it and share it with the people. I can't answer every question right now. Sorry, you got to call in.
Because we're going to be deficient in one of the key amino acids called glycine, which I will talk about in just a bit. The point is that most people are very deficient in collagen if we compare ourselves to our ancestors. When you are 17 years old, you will have the most collagen of your entire life. You're at your optimum state. You can fall down on the cement and bounce.
Sorry.
But when I was younger, I got so many different injuries. I'm surprised that I even survived those injuries. But as we get older, let's say you reach the age of 75 years old, you potentially could lose 80% of your collagen. As we get older, we lose a lot of this collagen. We lose the connective tissue that holds everything together. This is why the skin sags. This is why we get wrinkles. This is why our joints fall apart. We become more fragile. So collagen is very important. I want to talk.
You can lose 80%. And if you don't work out, you're not even telling your body you want to keep the protein. You already lose a lot of proteins and amino acids, things like glutamine, things like creatine, things like collagen. You already lose this. If you don't work out, this is why your arms become too small. This is what happens. You're losing it if you don't work out and try to tell your body to produce muscle to live. Skeletal muscle keeps a person living long life, longevity. Read a book by Dr. Gabriel Lyon. Do I have it over there? I don't have it over there. Check out Dr. Gabriel Lyon. She'll tell you all the importance of skeletal muscle. It's going to outlast, I'm going to tell you, most people. Exercise is going to outlast most diets because it helps the body function to metabolize and keep producing. Very, very important. If you missed this lesson, you might want to come back and watch it. I'm telling you, you need to listen right now. I'm telling you, you're going to be, oh man, I don't know if I can walk to the wilderness and make it. Hey, you remember where Elder had them lessons? You didn't want to listen.
About minor purposes of collagen first, and then I'm going to tell you the big one. Collagen can act as an antioxidant because it helps you increase something called glutathione, which is one of the main antioxidants in our liver that helps protect us. It helps us detoxify. One really cool benefit of collagen is it'll actually help your sleep cycles. Collagen is also really important in gut lining repair. To protect against leaky gut, for example, is a problem. We need collagen to help repair that because one of the key amino acids in collagen is glycine. And glycine not only helps us detoxify poisons, but it's also essential in the deeper sleep cycles. And so when you don't have enough glycine, you will have sleeping problems. But now,
if you think you're getting enough glycine just because your body produces it, you're not. Especially in modern day society. The body can produce glycine, but when you only have 1 to 3% of something you're supposed to have 30% of, check it out. No wonder you're having insomnia and things like that. The diet. Even when you exercise, you have better sleep cycles. Hydration, you have better sleep cycles. Protein, you have better sleep cycles. Very, very, very important. So you can have inflammation in your gut just from not having enough collagen every day. So being that only 1 to 3% Americans are getting, this can explain why don't you try to see if this is affecting your health right now. You got people you can go on, YouTube who dealing with high collagen diets, look at how beautiful they look. I don't care if they white, even though we you know, we age good. You got white people and all other type of nations doing this, looking amazing. It's very, very, very important. It's also going to help you to burn off some of that fat. So it's not just regular protein. Collagen is made up of 30% in our body, and we need it. We need it. It's not a bargain. So if you hear Elder Rawchaa talking about something with health, usually I'm going to tell you something that's not a bargain. It's not a bargain. Copper. Copper is, you can't bargain with it and say, oh man, I used to take copper back then. This is what I hear people saying. I used to do this. They don't know what they're talking about. Like, no, it's certain things you have to use to function every day. Unless you know you're getting it out your mud of a garden you planted with, or a neighbor or somebody who you know they plant in a certain way. Okay? Very, very, very important.
Get into some really interesting things, because people actually think that if I consume collagen from food or a collagen powder, it's going to go in my body and go directly into my collagen and replace the collagen that I have, or fulfill the need for collagen. That's not how it works. The great majority of the collagen that you get from your diet or a powder, like 90% of it, breaks down through the digestive system, gets absorbed into the blood as amino acids. So let me just show you something right here. When we eat protein or we have collagen, we have a series of amino acids.
Pay attention. This is very important for you to understand why it's important to take it consistently. 90% of it is breaking down into amino acids. The little 10% that's going to do the little work that you need in these specific areas of pain, if you ain't consistent, baby, that's why your pain keep lingering.
It's connected in a chain. And when we get these smaller chains of individual amino acids, they're called peptide chains. So peptide is a chain of amino acids.
Notice how they're coming out all of a sudden with peptides for performance enhancement for bodybuilders. All you need to do is just do what the Most High said to do with his diet. They could have just told you, man, you lacking collagen. It's 30% of your body. You need to consume more collagen. But instead they want to come out with synthetic fallen angel technology of steroids that people put in their bodies. Guys, most of the bodybuilders is online and is taking TRT from their doctor, which is testosterone therapy replacement. But the issue with that is, and it's all good if you got to take it, but the whole deal is, I hope you got some extra if it's shut down. If things shut down and there's no doctor to give you your testosterone therapy, brother, you finna be hurting. I'm trying to get people, because some people depend on insulin. Some people depend on certain things from these doctors, and I understand that. But we need to think, if you don't have a certain doctor or have your extra of what you need, you got to think about this, guys. Where you getting your testosterone from? Because not only is people taking TRT, they taking extra steroids that cost hundreds upon thousands of dollars just to maintain. And when it shuts down, they won't be getting it, and their bodies will not produce testosterone naturally. That's why we sell ultra testosterone on our site, because you rather work out, work your legs to produce natural testosterone. If you squat, and it's not all about squatting heavy. If you pre-exhaust your legs and you squat, it's going to taste like a little acid in the back of your mouth. That's your testosterone pushing through your legs, pushing through movements that take a lot of strength. Testosterone is produced. Very, very important for you to understand why you need enough collagen and the copper and the vitamin C to deal with it.
When you eat collagen, the great majority of it, 90% of it, breaks down into the individual amino acids, but 10% of it actually is left as peptide chains. Now, this is very, very important, because peptides are signaling molecules. It's very, very unique function. Even though when you're consuming collagen, you only get a small percentage of these peptide chains, this is a major role in signaling and telling your body to repair.
Look at that. I'm telling y'all, you better listen or you're going to miss it. When you're taking your collagen powder, 90% is going to amino acids, no different than a normal protein powder, meat, beans and rice. Those are all broken up into chains of amino acids. But when you take collagen or you eat collagen, if you do not get enough collagen on a regular day basis, especially if you have old injuries or you want to live longevity, only 10% is left turning to peptides to go and signal to go to these certain areas where you need to be fixed up. So if you only get 1 to 3%, why you think you still got pain and inflammation? We all need enough collagen in our body. We all need that copper to make sure it's going and doing what it needs to do, and the vitamin C. Now, you can get a lot of vitamin C through lemon, different things like that. Normal vitamin C is enough to make sure this collagen is okay. Now, personally, if you have elite injuries, taking high doses of vitamin C, that's your choice. You know what I mean? So it's certain things that I do for that, but these things are very important for you to understand. Because if you're just taking collagen, you just think, I'm taking collagen, it's just going in my body and absorbing. No. You ain't taking copper. Okay? On the regular, I have to highlight it. Oh, how much collagen are you taking? Because I take 60 grams. In my little thing, I take 60 grams a day. One scoop is 5 grams. So I have to take 2 scoops. I take 60 grams a day of that. And then I make sure I'm eating chicken skin. I'm eating, bone broth, whatever else. Because I need to make sure I'm getting my 30% a day or more. This is how important it is. Because I got old injuries that need to, then I want them to keep healing until, hey, you can't get no more collagen powder. Right? Come on.
And rebuild the collagen connective tissue. Now, let me just help you understand this a little bit more. You're consuming all this collagen. Most of it, 90%, is breaking down into individual amino acids, and it goes into a pool of amino acids, just like if you were to eat an egg or a piece of meat. It's all going into a pool to provide for raw material to build that muscle tissue or tendon or hair or nails or even your collagen. But it's these small peptides that don't get broken down into the individual amino acids. They're able to get absorbed into the gut and go into the bloodstream as a peptide chain, as a signaling molecule to command repair in your body. So that can be repair in your skin.
Wherever you need repairing, if you're not getting enough collagen, it ain't happening. You can take all the anti-inflammation, ibuprofen, all of that. I'm sorry to tell you, that does not mean it's repairing. This is a normal function for the body. You're not going to get enough glycine because the bodies don't produce that much glycine by itself. Having enough collagen helps to produce enough glycine because like 30% of collagen, at least 1/3 of it, has enough glycine to help synthesize and stabilize collagen. On top of that, to help produce that glutathione. Okay, very, very, very important. If you don't think this is important to understand what's going on here, you might need to rewatch this video. You could be going through something that you don't have to go through because you don't eat enough collagen. And like I said, unfortunately, unless you're in this modern day, unless you're drinking bone broth all day, it unfortunately will not have that much density of enough of it. It just, because you can't measure how much you're getting in there. So it's just really trying to be very consistent, with eating a beef gelatin or your beef bone broth or your skin or your chicken and beef, whatever the case may be. Just gonna take a lot of consistency. But if you have a inflammation issue going on, personally, I will supplement personally and do that. But if you're just like young, to be honest, if you're young and vibrant, Eat you a good diet of bone broth, of you know, skin and things like that. And every now and then, just maybe you could put a small amount of collagen because you don't need that much. You're young in your 20s and 17 and teenager. You're going to be fine. But I mean, like us over a certain age, we need it for sure. And if you're over 50, if you over 35 and you ain't getting it and you want to be alive, you need to get on your game.
That could be a repair in your joints. That could be repair in your gut.
You do chicken feet soups. Y'all can miss me with the chicken feet. I'm good on chicken feet. My grandpa used to try to sneak them in the gumbo. I'm good on chicken feet. I see what my chickens be stepping in. And for me, that ain't no different than how they be putting the Clorox on the chitterlings. And I'm not knocking. I'm messing with you, but I'm good. Don't miss me with the chicken feet. I'm good. I can get collagen in a lot of other ways.
That could be repair in your ligaments. That could be repair in your arteries, because your arteries are also collagen. And when I'm talking about repairing,
listen,
in your gut lining, a peptide chain as a signaling molecule to command repair in your body. So that could be a repair in your skin tissue. That could be a repair in your joints. That could be repair in your gut lining. That could be repair in your ligaments. That could be repair in your arteries. Because
you see what he's saying? Wherever you need this to go, if you're taking enough, this is what's going to happen. All right? If I wasn't dealing with a kilo of collagen would be in my supplement stack. A keloid. You can get that off too, though.
Arteries are also collagen. And when I'm talking about repairing and rebuilding, I'm talking about triggering or stimulating certain genes that trigger these cells called fibroblasts, which are basically little cells in your body that make collagen. They also make elastin to make things more elastic, because collagen is not bone. It's a very flexible tissue, so to speak. And that's the hallmark of someone that's younger versus older. They're more flexible, they're more pliable, they're more resilient, they're more elastic, kind of like a rubber band. And when we lose that elastin, our tissues become wrinkled, they become rigid, we look older. And so we need both more collagen and more elastin. And consuming more collagen not only provides the raw material to build it, but these peptides also provide as a signaling molecule to tell our body what to do with this raw material. And
so for ABCs again, for basic terminology again, we're only getting 1 to 3% of collagen with normal American diets. That's very bad. That is a inflamed body. That is a inflamed body. Sorry to tell you, depending on your diet and how much you're getting. And even if you're getting a little bit in your diet, you ain't getting 30%. So supplementation has become the norm for a new society who is not eating God's diet and getting things in a regenerative forming type of situation. Just because you're shopping at Sprouts does not mean you are getting what we're talking about here. Sprouts and Whole Foods, nice marketing, nice banners, nice decoration, and added money to psychologically make you think you're getting what we're talking about here. No. The old-fashioned way is the best way to make sure you're getting some of these things, or making sure you're shopping at a place where you know you're getting it. You just have to do a little research. 1 to 3% in a diet is very bad. It's horrible. Also, side note, don't be using no iodized salt because you think it has iodine in there. Are you kidding me? It's time for us to wake up. If you go to a restaurant that's talking about it's organic, and I'm like, how y'all got an organic restaurant with iodized salt? That don't even make sense. That don't even match. So sometimes I got to bring my own salt to the restaurant because it's like, how you serving organic food with iodized salt? Huh? So anyway, that's a whole nother subject. We need 30% of collagen. No one can talk you out of it. No one can give you a good feeling or opinion that you don't need a fact. Your body made up of 30%. That's what you need. And if you get it on the regular, you have an excess of the 10% that's not going to be turned into amino acids with the rest of the proteins you eat daily that goes into a protein or amino acid pool that will be left to go to your body to fix your issue. That's why I like to take things like MSM along with vitamin C, because they're also going to help with this collagen. MSM also opens up the cell walls to allow nutrients to come in and to allow toxins to leave. So it's going to help that collagen go directly to these areas and send these things where they need to go to fix these areas. Very, very important.
What's even more interesting is if you compare that to eating a steak or a piece of chicken or an egg or a fish, you do not get this signaling molecule, okay? You don't get the peptide chain. When you consume muscle meat, when you consume egg, when you consume fish, when you consume...
Everyone's heard of...
We ain't heard of you. We good on you. So hold up. Hold on real quick. We talking about Dr. Berg right now. We good on you. Thank you, though.
Getting the amino acids. And so what's so unique about collagen and what's so different about it is that you get a very powerful stimulus of making more collagen, of repairing collagen, of rebuilding collagen. And again, I'm talking about your skin, your nails, your ligaments, your tendons, fascia, your arteries. The next question is, how do we get more collagen?
You want
yes,
nice hair.
You can take a collagen protein powder.
You want nice hair. You want nice skin. You want nice nails. You want nice ligaments, tendons, cartilage, collagen, arteries. Yeah, all right. It's time to get started, see. All right. And that's what he's trying to tell you. You need all of these things. Need. It's not a bargain if you want to feel good, look good, last long, because all of these type of proteins are being lost, especially for people who don't exercise. When you don't exercise, unfortunately, you're signaling your body that you're ready to get old and perish. Because you're not lifting anything, you're not telling the body I need to be strong. You're not stretching it, and if you stretch without warming up, that's even worse. Some people just stretch. Some people just walk, and that's good. But if you don't build muscle, you're not trying to live long. I'm just telling you the truth. A lot of people don't like to work out. I get it. Some people say, I walk. Okay, there's nothing wrong with walking. Walking is cardiovascular. If you want to burn fat in old age and keep metabolism up, you need to build muscle. This is a fact. This is not an opinion. Well, I do this. No one said it's wrong what you do. You can keep the walking up. But walking have nothing to do with building muscle. I'm sorry to tell you. I hate to burst your bubble. If you want to live long, like some of these people I showed y'all on the show before, 70, 80, 90 years old, they build muscle. Walking and treadmill, it's just extra for cardiovascular, and that's good to do that. But if you want longevity, listen to this lesson tonight. Collagen, copper. Don't only take that. You still need your other stuff. I'm telling you, these is just so important for you to deal with. And a lot of you may be dealing with inflammation issues in the gut, leaky gut. Like he said, MS because you lack copper, anemia because you lack copper. So many different things. Like I said, I'm going to come on next time, not next week, but soon, just for copper, to show you why you're tired, to show you all of these different things, okay? So let's continue.
But you can also start...
The collagen is so expensive, but you don't need that much of it. Most of the collagen you get, it only comes in small bottles, but if you get it from China, you don't even know if you're getting collagen. So, right? The whole deal is, and I told my sister Lanisa Terry, she said, Elder, I don't want to buy the selenium no more from Amazon because it came with a chemical smell. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Because I wasn't going to sell a selenium no more because it's a very slow seller, even though it's an important one. So I said, well, go to Amazon And then I had to go ahead and get her the selenium, but I had to put it on Lion's Homestead for right now for rules and regulations. But I can't tell y'all what supplements is good out there because a lot of stuff is coming from China. You know what I mean? So I'm just sorry to tell you. You need to know what you're getting. It's expensive because it works. All right? The copper spray for the face, it's helping the collagen on your face because you need the copper. All right?
Collagen by consuming more skin on the chicken or skin on your fish. You can make different stews where you have different knuckle joints or cartilage from chicken in there and start boiling it down into the gelatin.
I will, my sister. I'm keeping the selenium. Right now I got it on Lion's Homestead. Non-GMO. It's on there.
Making these different stews. Bone marrow is very high in collagen, but ideally you want to start doing nose to tail, okay? I mean, a lot of cultures do this. Chicken feet, they boil them down. And they make...
who is that? Thanks, Elder. I wasn't aware about building up muscle being better than walking. Yes, my sister. You can even get you some bands at home. You don't even have to just get dumbbells. You can get you some bands, some stretch bands. That's things that you can do like 10 reps with. Because as you're older, it's not all about high reps because you also want to build strength. Because when you build strength, you're going to make the bones a little bit more dense. So doing reps like, 8 to 15 reps. I'm not going to say I wouldn't go higher because that still builds muscle. But you also want to build strength as you get older. Okay? Not saying that reps don't build strength, but it's a balance of why you do everything. Squatting, even if you're squatting body weight every day, very important. If you squat every day, you're going to be doing amazing. You're going to live a long time. If you do, there's this lady who does planks for I motivated my mom to do them. This lady was doing planks for 14 minutes or something like that. So, yeah, man, and she was an older woman. So you guys can do it. Y'all got it. Take your time, though. Take your time. Don't start too fast. Start working out maybe, twice a week, Monday and Friday. And then eventually add 3 days. Eventually add, you really don't need no more than, unless you just get into it. You really don't need no more than 3 to 5 days a week, depending on your level, and how much you love it. But 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is really more than enough, especially as you get older to recover because we take more time to recover. But if you're taking things like collagen and stuff like this right now, creatine, very good for the brain. The creatine is very good for the brain and memory. And when it comes to all types of brain diseases and stuff like that, yeah, creatine is powerful too. One of those things we lack, you will be on your way. A lot of protein. If you want to stay thick and not like a toothpick, and I'm not saying you're a toothpick, you bad, but if you want to stay thick and not like a toothpick, you need to eat a little bit more protein. Okay, that's just, you're not going to be looking like a man if you work out, sisters. That's not true. That's just not true. Okay, so don't listen to that. All right. Now, if your husband wants you thicker than a Snicker, y'all got to deal with all that. But I'm telling you, you can be pre-diabetic if your muscles is not moving in a certain way. If you can't run to the mailbox, your husband wants you thicker than a Snicker. And that's between y'all. Don't say the Elder Rawchaa told me nothing. And you can't run from a dog. Don't be asking the elders to save you. That was between your own household. Brother, that's what you wanted. You got to make sure you can carry her. If you want her too thick than a Snicker, you got to make sure you can carry her on the shoulders. Get you some boulder shoulders and you can carry her, in our situation. Because brothers, I know it says bear the infirmities of the weak and bear the burdens of others. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not trying to bear a woman if I don't have to. That's all I'm saying. So that's between you and y'all. That's all I'm saying. I know some men like, man, that's too small for me. Hey, that's what you got to do. That's on you, brother. That's why you need to be He-Man. All right? I'm just saying.
These great dishes.
I'm gonna give you your props. See, I can't never hate on a man. There's never going to be a hate coming from me. I'm going to give you your props.
Consume grass-fed, grass-finished beef, for example, it's not as tender, but it's really filled with a lot more collagen because those animals have more exercise. They're a lot healthier than animals that have been put in a feedlot. They don't get much space. Their muscle becomes marbleized with fat, and it's super tender beef. Just realize with that, you're getting protein, amino acids.
And he just gave you the game. If you don't do a lot of moving, even the animals, they don't do a lot of moving, they gain more fat than muscle. The animals that does a lot of moving, they're going to have more collagen. So we got to know what we getting even at the store. So that's what I'm saying. So even when I slaughter my cows, they're more lean because they're running, they're moving. Okay? So that means that cow that I have, or the cows that I have, or people who have cattle, if your cattle are moving and your livestock is moving and running around, you're going to have more collagen production in that animal.
But you're not getting the collagen that we need for the repair and the rebuilding process. One of the things that I do in the morning with my coffee is I'll put a little cream in there. I don't put any sugar or anything like that, but I will put some collagen powder in there, mix it up, dissolve it. It doesn't really give you any extra taste. It just gives it a more of a creamy flavor, but that's one way that I get my collagen. And also, as a side note, there's other cofactors to allow this collagen to turn into body tissue. Like vitamin C is a very important cofactor, biotin, trace minerals like copper, really important. So this is why it's important to have a wide range of foods in your diet. And since we're on this amazing topic of...
So yeah, see, listen, Dr. Berg, Dr. Eric Berg, you came through with it, my brother. We appreciate you. I'm going to tell you right now, we really appreciate you, man. The scriptures tell you the importance of having a doctor in the book of Ecclesiasticus 38 or Sirach 38. So we appreciate you for allowing us to use that video for fair use purposes, all right? So I think I have another, one more video really quick for you guys. And then I have the one with the medication, and then we're going to get up out of here.
Tip for you that I think can
Fair
not only
use.
help you with your hair, your nails, and having youthful skin, but a lot more. In fact, you may find that this natural remedy solves many of the problems that you have right now. And this all wraps around this one topic of collagen. What is collagen? It's your connective tissue, tendons, ligaments, cartilage. 1/3 of all of your collagen is made by one amino acid, glycine. And glycine is not an essential amino acid, which means that our bodies can make it. But here's the thing, our bodies really don't make enough glycine. And if you're not getting it from the diet...
That's why I brung this out to show you once again. Even though some people say, well, your body already makes this. Everyone wants to sound like an expert. I'm not here to sound like an expert, so I'm letting the expert speak for you. I'm only going to tell you what I know. So I had to bring this out to show you your body, it doesn't, even though it makes glycine. Some people think, well, our bodies makes this. Essentially, if you don't have the collagen, you're not making enough glycine. So some people will tell you, well, you don't need to take this because your body make this. Let me tell you, you have no clue until you study certain things.
So you're going to be deficient because normal proteins, red meat or chicken or fish or even eggs or even dairy are not very high in glycine. You'd have to be eating the skin on the chicken and the cartilage like on the chicken bones or organ meats. And a lot of people do not do that. So we can be consuming a lot of protein, but not getting this one amino acid that could lead to all sorts of issues. Check this out. Glycine.
No need to supplement with glycine if you're taking collagen, because glycine is in so much collagen, it's going to be fine.
Is needed to make the most important antioxidant of all your cells. That's called glutathione. If you don't have glycine, you can't make glutathione, which means you can't detoxify, which means that you're going to have a buildup of toxicity, which relates to inflammation.
Okay, I had to bring it to you one more time. I'm bringing it to you again. If you do not eat collagen, you're going to have a buildup of too much inflammation, because if you want to get it naturally, unless you're just taking extra glutathione in your body. But why not practice doing it in a way where your body can produce it? When your body is, normalizing itself to produce things on a regular, you're better off that way than weakening something that can produce itself. Okay?
One of the reasons why glycine is very anti-inflammatory. So glycine is very, very important for your liver. Glycine is also used to help with a leaky gut because it helps prevent inflammation in your gut, which I've talked about this extensively, many different videos, as the gut inflammatory conditions are the start of autoimmune diseases. Glycine is also used in a lot of enzymes.
If you have inflammation in your neck, what I do, put a little ice on there, and sometimes I would put a little DMSO, making sure there's no chemicals on my hands. DMSO, you can get that from Amazon. I can't sell that. And I will put the iodine on there. Like I told, there's a lot of testimonies about people putting the iodine with the DMSO on type of lumps and things like that, and it goes down. Stress knots, lumps, tumors, cysts. So consistency is key. All right. And taking things like what we're talking about tonight. If you allow yourself to get enough collagen in your body, what's going to happen is that it's going to be able to produce that help the glutathione be produced in the body to allow it to go assist the area. All right. Been like 20 years. Yeah, but see, what I'm saying is you could be lacking a lot of things. You could be lacking a lot of things. You could be lacking copper. You could be lacking collagen. And you'll notice, let me tell you, when you start doing things right, you'll notice the body start to heal itself. I'm telling you right now, this happens all the time. And sometimes there's parasites in a certain area. So when you go on a certain parasite protocol, you'll notice when you're consistent with it for a while, the things will start to heal itself too. All right?
In different proteins, one being called catalase, which helps you get rid of hydrogen.
Some of you guys on parasite cleanse. So if you don't ever parasite cleanse like every 6 months, 3 to 6 months, then sometimes some things will also linger. But I believe tonight, if you guys have studied this lesson, try this for like 3 months and see what's going on with that body when it comes to inflammation. Because toxins are built up because you don't have enough glutathione in the body. And you probably don't exercise or eat a good diet. Some of you out there, I don't know.
Oxide in the body, which also could explain why someone could have premature graying of the hair, because the hydrogen peroxide is just bleaching out the pigment in the hair. Glycine is essential to make the heme in your blood. So if you don't have glycine, you can't make blood. And even your gums around the teeth need glycine. Glycine is so foundational, you need it for your DNA as well. If you're deficient in glycine, you might not be able to achieve the deep delta wave sleep that you need to feel regenerated. Also, I found that glycine is very important in helping people detox.
If you don't have collagen, which the glycine is filled in there, yeah, you could take glycine as a supplement, but you could just get it from collagen. Your DNA, your sleep, your leaky gut. I mean, copper, collagen, this vitamin C. Oh, my goodness.
Uric acid. And so it's even used as a treatment for gout because glycine competes with uric acid. And glycine is also good to make your insulin more sensitive. So it's really good for blood sugars and can help you with a lot of different things: weight loss, a fatty liver, visceral fat. In fact, the Greek word for glycine means sweet. It can actually even be turned into glucose as fuel. You see, certain parts of the body, especially the brain, need a certain level of glucose. But if you're not consuming sugar, your body will make it. Well, guess what? Glycine can be a precursor for that sugar. And I think some people might be concerned too, if that's going to bump me out of ketosis. If I take glycine, it's going to increase my sugar. But at the same time, look at the benefits. It actually helps stabilize your blood sugar, as well as maybe a little bit more insulin spike, but it's going to make insulin more sensitive. So it's more corrective on insulin versus regular sugar that doesn't improve your blood sugars, right? But there's something else that's interesting when you consume glycine. It stimulates the opposing hormone to insulin, which is called glucagon. Glucagon does the opposite of insulin. And this is why when you're consuming amino acids, protein, you don't really have to be as concerned about the blood sugar spike, but it also at the same time stimulates the opposing hormone to keep things in check. And if something could make insulin more sensitive, it's not going to worsen the insulin resistance situation. It's going to help it. And I also read a study, which I'm going to put all this stuff down below.
I don't know if this is a brother or sister, Amya. Of course, it's not going to be delivery free to the UK. It's not going to, you in the UK. Of course not. You in the UK. You're not around the corner. So like I said, you can order from places that's around you. You don't have to necessarily get it from me. I'm not this person where I bring out some information. I'm bringing out information for you to buy it from me. Nah, that's not what I'm about. I don't only sell my supplements to the church. Oh yeah, you're a brother. Yeah, I don't only sell my supplements to the church, guys. I got thousands of customers from other places around the world. I do ship worldwide, but obviously that's not going to be free. When you order $100 or more from that site, KIIYsupplements.com, you get free shipping. But Lions Homestead is a total different site, so I'm just putting it out there. Definitely couldn't be free from the UK. You know what I mean? But just see if you can afford it or not. And I mean, if not, I mean, you can take your chance with other supplements. But I can't tell you. Please don't ever send me if supplements are good from other companies. I will never tell you about another person. That's not my job, because I know the business and the game of who's scamming and who's not, and how China they will copycat somebody's supplement and you think it's real. Amazon is just nothing but a high decorated Temu with added prices. So you just got to know what you're getting. Some things you get on there are good, but you got to know what you're getting. I can only tell you what I get from my stuff. So you can get it from wherever you want to get it. I'm just providing information, and you go wherever you feel like you trust it, or try your best to get it from the food. But I promise you, you're not going to be able to get it from the food if you don't grow your own food. I'm sorry to tell you, and when I mean grow your own food, putting things back in the soil that your animals are releasing, not from commercial fertilizers. I'm sorry to tell you. You can add those to it, but if you're not like gardening with cutting down, like chop and drop with clover, cover crops, or putting things back from your animals, it's going to be very hard to achieve what I'm talking about. So, but it's the reason we're bringing it out, because we're going to get it today, right? It's putting us in the process, like, okay, writing down notes in our head and in our mind to start to move towards this. Okay, it's the Holy Spirit brings things out. So she's been protecting us, but she also wants us to have wisdom, understanding that we're not going to always have certain things, in our hands, to where we're going to have to learn how to be self-sufficient while we have a little time here. Okay.
On how glycine could even interfere with the binding of oxalates to calcium crystallization to prevent kidney stones. So that's pretty cool. So here's how someone's deficient. First of all, the diet. If you're not consuming nose to tail, if you're not eating all the things with collagen, then chances are you could be deficient because our bodies don't make enough. There's a massive demand for
Thank you, Dr. Burke. Our bodies do not make enough collagen, glycine, or glutathione alone. Some people they hope they can just hide like an ostrich with their neck in the sand. No, you're going to have to face what we're dealing with in this world. It's a war. It's a spiritual war. Our bodies are spiritual and physical. So we need to gird up our loins, pray to the Most High, work hard. And if you don't have a lot of money, if you have a backyard, you get it out the mud. I give my kids my colloidal copper. Everybody needs copper. You just have to know how much to give your children. Wherever you're buying it from, if they're not telling you it's for kids, you have to know how much your kids need. Every person needs about 4 to 6 milligrams, according to studies from doctors and scientists. But I'm never going to tell people things I can't. So, I give my children what the body needs. Once again, on Lions Homestead, please don't hit me up without reading the instructions on Lions Homestead. It's going to say, not for human consumption. Personally, I've gotten things from the feed store that are for animals, for me. But I am never going to tell you legally what to do with your body. That's a homestead site. So you got to read the site. Read the site, please. Okay, because people in 2020 were taking fish antibiotics to get better. That was that. I couldn't tell them it was right or wrong. That's what they did. And guess what? They got better. So some things is about, if you know, if you have ears to hear. But legally, certain sites, not only mine, have to take certain stances, because There's licenses, rules, regulations, things with certain things. Some things I can't even talk about that I have on that site. That's some of the most powerful stuff in the entire world. I can't even tell you about it unless you go to Rumble. Because I'm going to follow the law because I'm a law keeper.
If you're under stress, if you're taking medications, if you're drinking alcohol, if you're exposed to toxins, if your liver is working overtime to get rid of poisons for some reason. It just so happens that 1/3 of collagen is glycine. And a real simple way to get collagen is gelatin Knox blocks. You can buy it in these packets. You can get it on Amazon. You can look it up. Put a little stevia in it and consume that on a regular basis to get your glycine. I think that's a really easy way.
Be careful with pork gelatin. Be careful with Chinese products that tell you it's 100% linen or cotton, and then when you get it, they didn't mix polyester in it. You got to be careful. You have to be careful. Or they have a certain percentage of beef in it, but it's still pork in it. Be very careful. You probably can find some good 100% stuff, but all I'm telling you is be very careful. That's all. Whatever you buy, wherever you get it from.
It's your glycine. Now, you can also get a supplement with glycine, and if you do, the amounts that an average person need would range anywhere between 4 grams to 10 grams a day. Here's some other ways you can get collagen. You can do bone broth. The problem with bone broth, you'd have to have a lot of it to get enough glycine, but that's a possibility. Another way to do it is to have
So 4 to 10 grams a day for most people who weigh a certain weight is not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough, guys, especially for people who have injuries or high inflammation. That's why some people do high collagen diets. That's where it's time for you to go and study to see what you need. Okay, I'm on a high collagen diet. I'm at 60 grams a day. So that's for me, though. If you weigh 50 pounds, okay, get you 5 to 10 grams.
And you take the whole chicken, put it in the crock pot, and just cook it all day long. And so you have all this great collagen, which is very high in glycine. You can even do like pork rinds, right? Just make sure it doesn't have added MSG or other chemicals. You'd have to have a good amount of it, but it can contribute.
Please don't do pork grinds. Thank you, Mr. Dr. Eric Berg, but we don't eat. We eat the Levitical diet here. Okay?
To your glycine. So in different countries, they do it differently. You know, they might, in certain countries, use.
So we're going to leave that there, and we're going to get this last video, and then I'm going to get up out of here. But I had to come on here tonight to show you guys this. All right, really quick. I don't know if I'm going to play this whole video, but just you can take this link for yourself. All right. Excuse me. Take this link for yourself. Go into a little bit. It's fair use for educational purposes only. The hidden dangers of medications, how they secretly cause nutrient deficiencies. Just really quick.
The nutrient thief number 2, medications. Now, many of you may be taking medicine, so I want to be clear. This isn't me saying you're a bad person for being on medicine. This isn't me saying you're wrong. This isn't me telling you to stop your medication without medical supervision. But I think it's important that you understand that drugs and medicines, including over-the-counter ones, come at a cost. And one of those costs is damaging your nutritional status. Many drugs interfere with absorption of nutrients. Some drugs interfere with how nutrients work inside your body. Some drugs interfere with nutrient uptake. Some drugs damage the GI tract and affect absorption of nutrients, and that's what I want to dive into. So what I want to talk about are some core concepts that you need to.
While this information is coming out, I am not telling a person to not take what their doctor is telling them to take. Some people need to know, does it contradict when they're taking certain supplements? So that's why this came out. I'm not going to play the whole video. That's why I put the link in the chat. But just check out a few things of what he's saying.
Understand about drug-induced nutritional deficiencies. And then we'll also talk about some specific ones. And if you want I have a complete chart on the most commonly prescribed medications, and if you comment vitamins below this, I'll make sure you get access to that chart and send it to you. But you can see here, many common medications work by inserting themselves into metabolic pathways which can inadvertently block the absorption, the synthesis, the storage of vital nutrients. These drug-induced nutrient depletions often develop slowly, leading to symptoms frequently misdiagnosed as new illnesses. This is especially true for those of you who've been taking drugs for many years. Maybe you've been taking a statin for 5 or more years.
Let me make this clear, though. Every now and then, every person is going to have to take an ibuprofen or something. That's just going to happen. But and that's very rare for some of us. But the whole deal is, once you are on something for too long, parasites or this is going to be absorbing your nutrients. That's just how it goes. It's going to just throw the body off. Too many antibiotics and too many things like that is going to overthrow the gut microbiome, killing off too much life, and then you are living, but you're kind of like the Walking Dead because you don't really eat enough things with enzymes and probiotics in them. All right, and it just messes your whole gut up.
Maybe you've been taking pain medications for 5 or more years. The longer you're on them, the more nutrient deficiencies develop and the more symptoms start to show up. It's very rarely that you take a drug one day and then tomorrow you're malnourished unless you're overdosing. You got a classic example of a drug overdose that can cause rapid, life-threatening situation because it damages a nutrient is Tylenol. Many of you that take Tylenol.
Really quick, look at this down here. Diseases caused by copper deficiency. You see that? You see that foot? So y'all take a look at that video right there for yourselves as well to show you how important it is with copper. But we'll come back on with another video about copper.
For pain, overdosing on Tylenol will deplete glutathione, which is the predominant nutrient that your liver uses to basically cleanse your blood and make sure that toxic buildup doesn't occur and kill you. And so some people get into a situation where they've overdosed and they're in the hospital, and it's actually FDA-approved medicine to treat glutathione depletion by Tylenol is NAC, N-acetylcysteine, which is an amino acid that helps your body to make glutathione. This is actually what they use in hospitals for the overdose. So that's an example of an acute or a really rapid acting, but that's really mainly if you're taking it for years, but if you overdose. But let's talk about some of these. So statins is a perfect example. There's a particular enzyme pathway that statins block. That pathway is called HMG-CoA reductase, and it's the same pathway that produces this nutrient called CoQ10. Now, if you've heard of CoQ10 before, it's one of the main drivers of how your mitochondria, the little powerhouses in your cell, make energy. So when you block this pathway and you block your body's ability to naturally make its own CoQ10, then all the things that CoQ10 does start to become real-time manifestations. And some of the biggest symptoms that we see actually can affect your heart. So CoQ10 deficiency can contribute to congestive heart failure. It's one of the side effects. It can also increase your blood pressure. CoQ10 deficiency can. It can cause muscle pain.
So these are some of the side effects of long-term medication, okay, according to Dr. Peter Osborne and thousands of research and information out there.
CoQ10 deficiency is linked to neuropathy. So a lot can happen when your CoQ10 levels are being challenged as a result of statin medication. So this would be drugs like Zocor and Lipitor, statins. So if you're on them, you need to talk with your doctor about monitoring your CoQ10 levels. Ideally, you should talk to your doctor even about supplementing. If you're on a statin, you should be supplementing with at least 300 milligrams a day of CoQ10 in the ubiquinol form. So that's the most active and the most bioavailable form. But this can help offset that if you are going to continue to take statins. But you need to talk to your doctor about that and monitor your CoQ10 levels because otherwise you can end up with the very disease that the doctor's trying to treat. Acid blockers, as I mentioned earlier, long-time use reduces stomach acid, hindering absorption. What do we get? We get blocked absorption of B12, of magnesium, of iron, calcium. We could add things to this list like protein. Protein digestion is hindered by stomach acid reduction. Selenium could be on this list. Vitamin A.
All your hard-earned money is going to waste when you're not exercising, keeping yourself in shape, because sometimes some people end up having to get on this medication. Now, some people, they just have to, and it wasn't their fault. It just had to. And, some people, they end up getting addicted even when that wasn't their intentions. But I'm just giving you information here of how important it is to keep the body healthy. Okay, this is just an addition to the the copper, the vitamin C, and the collagen, right? I didn't really go too much into vitamin C, but it's obvious that you've already heard that vitamin C is needed to produce collagen, but copper is a hidden gem that you didn't hear about, right? So this is very, very, very important that like, hey, try not to be on this stuff long term. And if you do, hey, get with your doctor to see if there's some supplementation that can help to make sure that you're getting some of the things that is going to destroy as you're taking it.
Could be on this list as well. So blocking stomach acid can contribute to a number of different problems. And if we look at what these nutrients,
even things like baking soda, you take baking soda for too long, it'll eat your stomach lining. You can't take baking soda every single day. Maybe 3 days on, maybe 3 days off. 3 days on, 3 days off. You can't just take certain things, even if they're good for you, certain things too much. So you got to just, always do your little research. That's all I'm saying.
Deficiencies can cause. What are some of the symptoms, for example, of magnesium deficiency? Well, anxiety, headaches, muscle tension, muscle cramping, increased feelings of stress. Magnesium deficiency can also contribute to severe fatigue and brain fog or clouded thinking. So that's just magnesium. Vitamin B12.
So I take my magnesium at night. I have a magnesium powder I like to take from Key. And I take it at night when I take my colloidal gold and silver before I go to bed. I'm mostly take it at night because that specific magnesium makes you tired. All magnesiums don't make you tired. They have a little, but I personally just like to focus on that one because I love the powder of it and it don't taste like nothing. So, but if I take that one, I may take a little pinch of it in the morning, just a light pinch. But as long as you were consistent with it every day, you're going to be good. So don't stress about which type of magnesium and this and that. Because, they all do certain things, but they all are going to end up being what you need as far as magnesium. All right? They do have their specific functions of the different types, though, but you'll be fine.
Deficiency, shortness of breath. It can drive macrocytic anemias. Vitamin B12 deficiency can also contribute to problems lowering your red blood cells and your white blood cells. So
it's really sad because some people have to take this medication for certain things they're dealing with, but then they end up lacking so many other things.
Dysfunction or lowering your immune system capacity to fight infection. So increased risk for infection might be a secondary side effect of blocking that nutrient. We know iron deficiency causes anemia. Iron deficiency makes your body more susceptible to bacterial infections. We know that selenium deficiency can drive loss of hair and thyroid dysfunction. Vitamin A deficiency can cause skin.
Why do you think I always tell you to take selenium with the iodine? Right? To make sure it's going in there. Very important to understand what we're talking about here. We need to get ourselves healthy and in shape. We don't need to just take supplements, guys. Supplements is not the saver. It's diet and exercise and then supplementation. Exercise, diet, supplementation. The best athletes today have to supplement. That's just how life is today. We're not living in an old world. Okay? So, but we really need to try to do some plyometrics every day. Try to do jumping jacks every day, guys. That's the simplest form you can do. Try to do some jumping jacks every day. Yeah, if you haven't done them, obviously you're going to have to start twice a week. Other than that, you'll be able to move. You'll be able to get that blood flow. And like I said, if you're too overweight or you haven't done them in years, you're older, take it light first. Start walking. Start, holding on to something, doing a little jumps. Lean down on your bed or the cabinet. Do a little jumps like that first. And get your body used to impact. Impact is very important as you get older because it will tell your body to get stronger and you want to live longer. Very, very, very important. All we do is walk around and sit at desk jobs or whatever. That's why Issachar be so strong out here living long doing construction, because they moving their bodies.
Problems. Protein deficiency can also cause skin problems, hair problems, joint problems, right? And so this is what I was referring to earlier. When you're on a medicine for a long enough period of time.
Oh, by the way, if you drive trucks, if you sit down a lot, you need to be going on YouTube typing in hip mobility exercises. Type in hip mobility. Start doing hip mobility so your lower back pain will go away. Hang from the pull-up bar or something, a strong door or something, so you can keep that back and that disc separated. Okay? Make sure you're taking that collagen and stuff like that. You need to be doing hip mobility exercises over 35, even below, but you really need to be doing hip mobility exercises. Hip thrusts, squats. Just write down what I'm saying. Hip thrusts, squats, abductors, right? You really need to do hip mobility so your lower back will not have issues and you know you're flexible and all you got is them hips, all right, and them knees. Please, hip mobility exercise. Keep yourself squatting. If you had to do an office job, take your break sometime. Do a few jumping jacks. You're gonna make sure that the spine is moving, stays loose. Those discs stay loose every now and then. That's what I'm saying. Do a few little squats, because if you just only sit, you'll start to get stress knots in that back. Okay. Keep yourself hydrated. Keep yourself moving. Maybe spend a little money on going to get a massage in the lower back every now and then. Because if you sit all day, you're going to have to invest. If you're investing time in that, you need to invest your time in massages sometimes, or you know, hip mobility at least 3 times a week. Sit on your floor in the morning, like I said, and you know, hey, do some hip thrusts. Lean back on your bed, do some hip thrusts, do some hip mobility exercises. It's all on YouTube. I'm telling you, it's going to make you be able to be long term. Sitting too long, it just doesn't help us. Okay?
Start developing some
all
of these
praises. Don't worry about
nutritional loss symptoms. Your doctor, you go back to your doctor and you say, hey, doc, you know, I'm now having fatigue. My hair's falling out. I've got joint pain. What's the common answer you get? You're getting older. You need to accept it. It's just part of life.
I have lower back pain through 2 muscle knots because of overnight job. Put some DMSO on there, put some iodine on the regular, and start jumping. Start getting you enough collagen on the regular basis. Start getting you enough collagen on a regular basis. Copper too. Put your little ice on there and start exercising.
But I've got a medicine I can put you on, and then what do? They prescribe an additional medicine, maybe an additional.
If you got an injury, you got to work around it. You got to work around it, but it's a way to work around it. Trust me.
Medicines, and before you know it, you're on multiple drugs. You're what we call polypharmacy. And the problem with polypharmacy is it accelerates this whole process and makes things even worse. So the more you're on, the more unpredictable this gets. It's another one of those issues. As a matter of fact, the problem here is so bad. This was studied a number of years ago, but researchers published a major paper showing that properly prescribed medications were actually the 3rd leading cause of death. And this is one of the reasons why, is they cause widespread malnourishment that leaves a person broken, and then the doctor wants to give them more drugs, and then it just breaks them some more. Remember, medicines don't solve why you're sick. They mask your symptoms and manage your symptoms, but they don't solve for the why. But in the process, they create malnourishment that can make you sick.
So I'm going to leave that right there for him. And I'll open up the calls, but I mean, it's getting late, so I'll open up the calls though. If you don't call in within 3 minutes, we're going to have to close it out. So I'm going to open up the calls because, I'll be on my grind. So it's late, but, I had to bring this powerful lesson. It's 979-398-5875. Okay. Let's see here. Make sure I got this right. Sometime this thing want to trip out on me, but let's see. 1 second, y'all. Y'all give me 1 second. Let me fix this really quick. Sometimes it wants to trip out on me. Yeah, so if you want to call in 979-398-5875. If not, we're gonna see you next week. All right, we got a caller. I want to know, can y'all hear the caller too? We got a 601 area code. Let me know 1 second. Can you guys hear the caller? Say something, caller. Okay. Say something again. Testing. Say something. You here? Okay. I don't know why we don't let me see something. I don't know why this does this every time. So let me test these settings really quick, if you don't mind. Give me 1 second. 1 second. We're going to do it like this. Boom. And the ringing. All right. You can go ahead and speak. What do you got for us tonight? What's your name?
Yes, my name is Lawya, and the reason I'm calling is because regarding the question about blood pressure, my blood pressure has been spiking a whole lot lately, and I just can't figure out for nothing what's causing it. And I have changed my diet, and I exercise, almost on a regular, and for about 20 to 30 minutes a day. And I was prescribed some blood pressure medication, but I'm really concerned about taking those because they cause a lot of side effects. And I really don't want to make matters worse than what they are. So I was just wondering, what is the good thing that I can do regarding, what else at least can I do besides going into taking this medication on a daily basis?
Well, there is good things when it comes to blood pressure. You got beetroot. You got things like L-arginine. I mean, there's so many things. They got cayenne, drinking the warm cayenne water every day. You have, like I said, do you take copper?
No, I'm going to order me some. I'm going to order it.
Yeah, so
as soon as possible.
So you know what's funny? It would be something that if you had issues that because you don't have copper, you wouldn't even know any better. But
Right.
like I said, it's that important. Like for me, I take like 2 to 4 tablespoons a day of my colloidal copper, and I'm a big guy. I mean, I'm 210, 215, and that's more than enough copper for me. So sometimes you won't know until you deal with certain things. So what I would do if I was you, just Google, hey, good natural things that's good for regulating blood pressure. Now I just named a few, but there's way more out there. There's so many things out there. But just Google that. That's what Google's for. We got Google out there, and just try some of those things to see if they help you, and just go from there. But you definitely want to get that copper in you because it definitely helps with blood pressure. And like the doctors were saying, you never know if you're dealing with that just from not taking copper. You just never know.
Okay. All right. Well, I really appreciate the broadcast tonight because at first, the enemy was saying, "Oh, you don't need to watch that tonight. You can go to another town." But I said, "No, I'm gonna stay right here." So I'm glad I did because I never knew that about copper. Really. So, I'm glad that you brought that out tonight, and you've allowed the doctor to tell us a lot of important things about it as well. So,
yes, ma'am.
So I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Appreciative of it.
Thank you for calling in.
All right.
Okay.
And thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, we got another caller. Give me one moment. I think we just missed one. right, if you want to call back in, the number I just missed, you can call back in 856-952-9300. If you need to call back in, go ahead and call back in. Let me see if I have any questions in the chat. Oh, there we go. Hey, Shalom. This is G.O.C.C. Media with Elder Rawchaa.
Shalom, Elder Rawchaa. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All praises. So much information tonight.
All praises to the Most High. All praises.
I have a couple questions and a comment. So my grandson had a torn ACL. They wanted to do surgery. I kind of like refused. I'm finding out. So what I did, I used the castor oil on his knee, and then he says it doesn't hurt. He just started saying it hurt now. But I think I have the answer now with that collagen. I did not know the benefit of collagen. No one never told me that. So I was very, very grateful for your lesson today. And as well as I spoke to you during Passover time about blood pressure. And the missing piece probably is the copper.
Yeah, you just have to see if it is. I mean, you need to take it anyway. So and like I said, low levels of collagen, it will not send signals to the body to, because like I said, 90% of it is going to turn into amino acids. 10% of it is going to be left to send the signals through those peptides to go and try to heal these little broken areas. So that means we would really need to stay at maximum dosage to make sure, at least for major injuries, 6 months to a year, consistently, to make sure if we're not going to go to a surgeon to deal with it. I mean, so if you have a real ACL injury, I don't know anybody there may be some people out there who haven't. I will try to talk to some people who haven't had the surgery to see how they healed up with it, if they did. I had partial. So I've been taking high dosages of MSM vitamin C for years, because it'll take some years sometime for something like that to heal. But I'm going to tell you the truth. What I found that I was lacking was collagen. So I was taking the MSM and the vitamin C, but I was lacking not enough collagen and copper. So I wasn't getting collagen or copper all those years. So now, there's some speed up in the recovery through the consistency of the copper and the collagen now. But I can't tell you, because each ACL is different, but I would at least try to get an X-ray or MRI or something to see how bad it is or severe it is. That's the least thing that I did do.
Meniscus. He has a meniscus and a meniscus tear. I think it is an ACL. But I kind of like refused to.
Yeah, but did you get it at least looked at to see like what's going on? I at least got the I don't remember if it was a MRI, CAT scan. I don't remember. They put me in a big machine. I forget which one it was, but they actually looked at it. So
MRI probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
And also, are you going to? Can I get the colloidal gold? Would that be? The colloidal copper. I'm sorry. Would that be enough of that particular one? Will work opposed to the newer one that you said you're going to put out?
Yeah, I take that every day. Yeah, it's just different forms of copper. There's like 5 to 6 different forms of copper. That's just the one I take because I know it's I do a lot. You talking about a person squat 500 pounds. So that it's like a lot of weight. I don't do that anymore, but that it's more than enough for me. So that's what I take.
Okay.
I take 4 tablespoons of that a day.
I didn't see the collagen on your site. It's probably on the KIL.
Yep. Yeah, that's because it's on that one. I got grass-fed beef collagen on that one. That's the one I'm drinking right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how long would if you want to keep it regularly, how much collagen should I buy for 2 people to be using it?
Personally, I would have 1 per person. And I'm going to tell you something else. I want you to look up Comfrey. You ever heard of Comfrey?
COMFY?
Yeah, COM, I think it's FREY. Look up Comfrey on Amazon. And you know, they have some comfrey salves, or they sell comfrey. I can't tell you what it does on here, but I can tell you it's been known to, it's called knit, like knit things back together, knit broken bones, knit. You know, I gotta be careful what I say on here. So, but look up comfrey and look up the benefits of comfrey, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right.
Okay. And can you tell me real quick what your email address is?
Email? You mean for supplements or for something else? Just email, just normal.
Just normal email. You had told me to email you, but I couldn't find what your email was.
Oh, Elder Rawchaa at gmail.com. Elder AHRAYA at gmail.com.
Okay, thank you so much. And I tell you, I really appreciate your lesson.
Yes, ma'am. God bless you.
Informative.
Yes, ma'am.
All praises to the Most High.
Enjoy your evening.
You too.
All right, shalom. See, this is what the truth is about, man. Like trying to do Christ's work, help our people, and you know, sacrifice the time and the knowledge and the research, and this is what it's about, charity. And that's what that lesson was about on the Sabbath. Beautiful, man. So I'm going to keep you all in prayer and, you know, pray that the Most High blesses you and your families when it comes to healing through all of the information the Holy Spirit have provided for us tonight, and otherwise through other elders, deacons, and officers. And I pray that the Most High blesses you guys. All right. So I'm going to see you next week if it be the Most High's will. Have a good night, because I smell that food coming through the door. And I adore it. You know what I mean? So, and you know, that's how it's got to go down right now. Peace and blessings to everybody, and I'll see you soon. We will be having our Bible trivia soon. Bishop Anya already sent me some of the brushes to give away. Right? And I'm going to be giving some other things away. I mean, I got rings to give away. I know y'all see this nice Tiger's Eye ring, boy. Let me tell you right now. Hoo-wee. We got a lot of different things we be giving out. Shoes from Lion and King and all of that, real leather, not that pleather, with the copper rivet at the bottom so it can ground you out. I'm telling you right now, that's how it's going down. So get ready for the Bible trivia again, so we can be doing our giveaways. But in order to get it, you must be subscribed here, and you know, that's just what it is. Come with your Bible ready, like Freddie. Okay, now it's time for me to go eat my spaghetti, even though that's not what they cooking, but, you know, just saying. Peace and blessings, all right? Shalom. Don't forget to come to the Hebrew and Bible Academy. If you are new or not, historytimes.org. Get your mind right.
The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth